We're back.
We're back.
I'm just telling Peter, like, whatever that was, like 10 minutes ago. I'm just talking to a celebrity now because he appears on national news broadcasts all over.
Again,
What's going on?
I don't want to have like a big ego or whatever because of it, but like, you know,
well, you better now.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not that kind of person. Like, yeah, it's cool and all, but after that, it just subsides. You know, it's just like, you know, it happened, but hey, you're kind of happy that it did.
Well, I appreciate you bringing me on. I know it was like kind of last minute, and we can kind of get this together because I'm actually really excited for this game tonight. I missed it's been a couple months now, and we're finally getting back into it. And I know there was games last night, and like everybody was like talking about Bedard and everything, but now it just feels like there's so many games happening tonight where it's like, okay, now we're really getting to go here. But yeah, so I'm excited for this one. We got Habs and Leafs tonight. We got Jake Allen's in net and I imagine Samsonov's in net.
Yes.
Correct for the Leafs.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's been slated as a starter for quite some time right now, and it was obviously going to be him. Wall's going to be the backup for the time being. So
nice. And I know I briefly mentioned it before we jumped on because I don't know much about him, about Fraser Minten. You know, he was a second rounder, I believe, last year for the Leafs, and I know you talked about him briefly beforehand, but like for those of us who don't know him, what do we know about Fraser Minten?
Yeah, so basically a little bit of backstory because the Maple Leafs did not have a second rounder in Montreal, and I was at the draft covering it for the hockey writers, and obviously the Maple Leafs are coming up to make their pick, and we're all like, what's going to happen? And we didn't hear a whole lot of noise of Maple Leafs going up to the podium, so we automatically thought, okay, they're trading the pick. They're automatically trading it right then and there.
Right.
That's when we found out that Peter Mrazek and the first rounder got traded to Chicago for that second rounder, and I believe, not sure if it was another pick after, but that was the main trade right there, and they used that pick to draft Fraser Minten. And you know, I saw Minten quite a bit, but I didn't quite have him in the second round, but the Maple Leafs thought highly of him. He was smart, energetic. And, you know, he has like a power forward game, but he does a really solid job of playing a strong two-way game up the middle of the ice. Mm-hmm. And when we were talking to him in the media area, he prided himself on his IQ, his awareness, his ability to play on both sides of the puck and being ultra competitive. Going into this, his draft plus one season, phenomenal year, but had some injuries and dealt with it at certain points, including into the playoffs. But still, 31 goals, I believe, 67 points overall for the Kamloops Blazers. Looked really solid. We all thought that he was probably going to go back to Kamloops because it would be better if he would be a leader on that team, be a captain, because he kind of fell like under the radar with Logan Stankoven, you know, putting up like the ridiculous numbers that he did in Kamloops. And maybe he would get more of the opportunity, but plans have changed because the Maple Leafs thought highly of him. He looked really great during the preseason, won a spot over, looked great in the back-to-backs against the Habs, and he started to run away with it. And he kept getting the confidence from Keith, the staff, and everybody. And it was funny because Treliving said that there was sort of like the B squad, the Marlies, and then kind of like the other squad. Minten was in the final squad behind the Marlies. Like, you didn't expect a whole lot, but he stood out in a big way. So, yeah, it's interesting to see how his progression went in the preseason. I'm curious to see how it's going to act or how he's going to play in regular season games when things are going to be on the line a bit.
And it must be exciting too, like to kind of have like somebody who was drafted like a year ago, right? You have all these draft picks within the past 2 years, and for him to like crack the roster, right? Like that's got to be exciting too for a team, right? To know that, oh, okay, now our development's actually working really well, right? You know, we're able to bring in these guys, right? Like, and you know, obviously being a Flames guy myself, like going to be seeing Matt Coronado tonight. Like, you know, it's just nice to kind of see, like in general, it's nice to see guys who are finally getting the opportunity to, you know, crack the roster. So who is he? Is he playing third line tonight?
Third line, yeah. He's going to be centering the line with Matthew Knies and Calle Yarncroke.
Okay, so because I don't know yet, run me through the lines for the Leafs tonight. Obviously, you'll have Matthews and Marner on the top. Who's he pairing with?
So it's going to be Bertuzzi with Matthews and Marner.
Okay.
The second line is going to be Domi, Tavares, Nylander. The third line, Knies, Minten, Yarncroke. And the fourth line is going to be Noah Gregor, one of the other players that would have spot, earned the PT or played well during his PTO and earned the contract. Yeah. David Camp, and of course Revo.
Right, that's right. I forgot about Revo. Oh my god! That's right. I forgot about Revis. That's sick. Okay. Who are you most excited for to watch tonight?
Obviously, I do want to see Minton play. I mean, kind of redundant because I've seen him play during the preseason, but I want to see again what he does during regular season action. I want to see the impact that the new guys can bring, or Domi, Bertuzzi, Reeves, how that energy and tenacity, because that's what Treliving brought him in for, how that can play a factor. I also want to see John Klingberg because he's had his ups, his downs. Hopefully he's going to be the solution to get, or the Maple Leafs are the solution to get his career back on track. Obviously, he may not have the 60 points like he had in Dallas, but if he's able to still provide a consistent 40 points and being a producer on the power play, I think it's going to be a big win for the Maple Leafs. And yeah, just to see some consistency defensively as well, even though that may not happen, but we'll see. I'm excited to see what he can do on the power play.
Yeah, I miss Bradley Living already. Well, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I know. I think, it's almost like for this team, especially, like, what the expectations are. That, the season, in my estimation, like, it's going to go well, right? Like, you expect this team to be at the very least in the playoff spot, top 3. If you want to pick them in the top of the division, sure. I think what, for me, it's going to come down to is the deadline when it does approach in March, right? And they go, okay, where do we sit? And are we going all in for this, right? And I'm curious to see, like, as the season progresses, if there is a piece or two that they're still missing. Is there something that they need to add into the back end for this team? Is it something where, maybe it's more Ryan Reeves, like another grinder type guy that they need at the back line? Like, maybe it's goaltending. Like, I'm just curious, like, how the season's going to progress, and especially when we watch the game tonight, how they look. What else are they going to need for a potential playoff run? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's we're already looking at that, 4 or 5 months down the road already, like what the Maple Leafs can do. And honestly, just seeing Matt Murray right there, little pause, is actually really emotional because of what he's been able, or what he's gone through injury wise. So seeing him on the bench there is really a great sign. Really happy for him.
They have the All-Star patch on the shoulder instead of because I think the Panthers had it on the.
Yeah, they flipped it. They flipped it around. Yeah. Actually, I kind of like the patch, actually. It looks really, really nice.
I really do like the patch, too. I think the logo is nice. Yeah.
But to go back to your question about the trade deadline, I do think that they need another physical, mobile, two-way shutdown. You want to call it that kind of gritty in-your-face defenseman, kind of like what Reeves brings, but a little bit more of a balanced game.
Right.
I'm sorry to bring him up, but maybe Nikita Zadorov on the Flames. I doubt it because the Flames seem to be in a really good spot right now and turning the page. But they need another solid top 4 defender because you're already seeing the injuries right now with Connor Timmins. You saw that with Klingberg a bit. You want to have a little bit more stability right there. So I think that's going to be the main priority.
No, I think from what I remember, I thought Zadorov's name came up last year in the connection with the Leafs. It depends on what they do this year, though. I really don't know. If it slides, then who knows? It might be a fire sale. Who knows, right?
And that's why January is like the cutoff when you have to decide for that.
Exactly. You need to figure out what we're doing, right? But another guy that came up, too, I thought was interesting, like, was TJ Brody, right? Weren't they kind of talking to him, like, being about, like, he was kind of like, oh, do we get rid of him? Can we fit him into this lineup? Like, what were the thoughts on Brody really trying to stay into this lineup here?
Yeah, that was a really interesting debate or talking point because especially they were thinking about buying him out. And if you were to buy him out, it would cost a little bit more and the Maple Leafs would be on the cap. And I think it would be like 2.5 million I think it's 800,000 for 1 year and 2.5 for the next. But considering how strapped they are for cash, with the salary cap, even though it is going up, it just didn't quite make sense to buy him out. And he's going to be a UFA at the end of this year anyways, I believe. So if they're able to free up that cap space, maybe he takes a little bit of a discount, kind of like Gio did. We'll see what happens. But I just didn't quite make sense of that in terms of like, if they wanted to move him and get an upgrade, that's more realistic. But to buy him out was just a little, not really something I would consider.
So I have a surprise for you.
Oh, God.
Actually, now that you mentioned jersey, I was like, man, like, because I usually, like, when we do these streams, I like to have a jersey behind me on the wall, but we're in the new place and I haven't put any nails up on the wall.
You brought up a jersey. I completely forgot my jersey.
Yeah, so I'm like,
jeez,
like listen, I'm not a Leaf fan. I'm not a Habs fan. And I'm like, what jersey could I possibly use for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got one on my bed. One sec.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So being close to this area, and I grew up watching this junior team for the longest time, and I was lucky enough to see Bertuzzi play for the Guelph Storm.
Nice.
Right?
Beautiful.
So I got this. Listen, like the colors don't match up perfectly, but yeah. So it's funny because it's not actually Bertuzzi, because I used to love Fabry.
Oh, Robbie,
Yeah, Robbie Fabry. Yeah.
Robbie.
So anyway, like we still go to a lot of like Guelph Storm games a lot, and they're so fun to go to. And I remember a lot of times when Tyler Bertuzzi was playing for the Storm, right?
Yeah.
And man, he was so fun to watch. Like that whole team was just so fun to watch at the time. And I don't know if you remember, like, because they went on a Memorial Cup run, and I think Bertuzzi was on the team. There was like there was once or twice they went to. No, it was the second time I think they went on to the Memorial Cup in like 2018, maybe, or whatever it was. Anyway, and
I think that's the Grand Rapids. I think when he was in the AHL.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Anyway,
because I know they did win a championship, and he was part of that team when he was
in
the Red Wings organization.
Anyway, I'm gonna rep my Guelph Storm jersey in response to Tyler Bertuzzi, because that's all I got going for me.
It's all good. It's all good. I completely forgot my jersey. I was gonna decide which one am I gonna wear. I don't know, but it's kind of like a little bit too late. But you know what? Really doesn't matter in terms of me wearing a jersey, but would have been nice. I think maybe I would just put one on for the second and third intermission or periods, but
whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, here they come. They're coming on the ice here.
Oh, yeah.
So what do we think going into tonight? I know we were talking a little bit about the season here a little bit. What are we expecting tonight? Is this a game where you expect like the Canadiens to kind of surprise some people like they have in the past and really make this competitive and maybe steal one on them?
Well, they're on the up and coming side of their rebuild. We're still that transitional period where there's still going to be rough patches, rough times, but they got a lot of key pieces in place. Obviously, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, they're leading the charge right now. Defense is still quite of an issue. Jake Allen has looked good at times, has been streaky at times.
Right.
Don't know what to think. I still think it's going to be another season where they're at the bottom of the standings, because it seems like everybody else made drastic improvements. The Canadiens, not so much, but that's not to say that you shouldn't count them out, because look what happened last year. The Maple Leafs were the favorites. Montreal beat them. So now I think I even heard before the game, Keefe was saying that, you know what? Remember what happened last year in the season opener in Montreal when we lost and we were the favorites to win?
Right.
Let's try and turn the tide. Let's show that we are the best team, or going to be the best team on the night that we should be. And this is one of those nights that they should be the best team. You
would think. Right? Like even last year, you would think the same thing. But yeah, I mean, Charles asked, like, obviously, you know where your preference lies here, clearly. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a huge preference for tonight's game. I just honestly, like, if it's not the Flames playing, I honestly just want a good game at the end of the day.
Good, like, fun. A good you're in the middle where you want to be, like that kind of hockey game, right? Yeah.
Even growing up, like even not being a Leafs fan and like throwing on those Saturday night games, like I always just grew up enjoying like those just tight games, close games. And I remember like for the longest time when I was growing up in the early 2000s and that, like for whatever reason, when the Rangers came to Toronto, I don't know why, but it was always a blowout. Like every single time they played in the early 2000s and late 2000s, it was always a blowout. And I'm like,
yeah,
damn it.
I think that was also the time when the Leafs were they were just bad, like decision wise, roster wise. I think that was at the point, because I even think that even that post lockout, I think Yager was on that team with the Rangers and he was just putting up like ridiculous numbers anyways.
Right. I'm not a Leaf fan, Charles. I'm a Flames fan.
Only one Leaf fan here, Charles.
But yeah, so I was just going to ask, because they have Natalie Morris was her name here. She's singing the national anthem. Who was the other girl that used to sing beforehand?
Martina Ortiz.
Martina
Ortiz Louise. There we go.
That Louise, yeah. So I'm guessing she's doing something.
I believe on her social media, she said that there was like a new opportunity that presented itself to her. So I think she moved away from that, which is why they got the new anthem singer.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And I'm not that old, I swear to God. I'm 26, dude. Relax. So I was going to mention too, now that Natalie Morris is almost done, and we'll get this game underway soon. I just lost my train of thought a little bit, but yeah, I'm just excited to kind of see, like, I don't know, like beforehand, like obviously when they had their season preview stuff with the Canadiens, and obviously not, they're in a tough division. It's gonna be a brutal division this year, right? And the Leafs having the high expectations that they usually do. I'm just curious to see like the tempo of the game as it's gonna start, right? Like I'm just curious to see how that's gonna kind of get underway, and just really I'm more curious to see about how the tempo is gonna be.
Yeah, that's the main thing too. Like they need to set the tone off, like from the
You
very
would think, right?
Because we know how good they are going to be in the regular season, but if they want to be a premier cup contending team and not just be a one playoff round win,
right?
They got to put their best foot forward. And I think with that added energy that they got from those three guys, Revo, Domi, and Nylander, I think that should like energize them a little bit more, because you saw that in little spurts during the preseason. But I want to see a little bit more pushback overall, where if there is a scrum and somebody does something, push back. Like that's all I want to see too.
That's why they bring in the big boys, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know where you're at. You're on TV, but they're about to drop the puck right about. Wait a second. Now
I'm way behind. I am still on the. Yeah, I am on the. Still the goalies. I'm on Ilya Samsonov right now. I don't know why I'm still.
I had so many problems last year when I was doing some streams with doubles with Neil, and like he was always like miles ahead of me, right?
So that was the one thing that happened during I think both of our games when I was doing it with Alex in the playoffs, where it was like those three, like he had to keep his mouth shut, or I had to keep my mouth shut, because I was either ahead or below or behind. So yeah, but now we're in. Puck is dropped. Puck is in the Maple Leaf zone right now. That is where I'm at right now.
Okay, so I'm about like maybe 10, 15 seconds ahead. That's not too
bad. That's not bad. I've seen where it's, Matthew.
Oh, you got the flash score thing ready?
That would have been a very nasty, stick handle goal for number 300, because I actually hope he gets his 300. Like, I hope that's the first goal this year.
Wait, who's getting his 300?
Matthews.
Oh, Matthews. Oh shit.
Matthews, yeah.
Wow. Okay, wait, do you have the scoreboard?
Scoreboard, yes. I can get up the scoreboard right now. So it is live.
Beautiful. I figured that would be important. Okay. Oh, I just got a thing. Brett Howden. Remember the hit he had?
Oh, yeah, the hit. Did he get suspended?
Yeah, he got 2 games.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's a good one.
I think
it should have been a little bit more.
That's reasonable.
But
there's been worse hits before, right? I think there's just been bad ones before, but no, I think 2 games is fair.
Yeah.
I'm not that far ahead of you. That's not bad. There we go. Perfect. We're rolling.
There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. I get. We want to keep one of the ads out of there, so that's why.
Exactly. That's okay.
Yeah.
So
as long as I don't touch that and it stays in behind, then we're all good.
You got it. I was just seeing too the stats. They were showing up before, like the goalie stats you were mentioning, as Minton's now on the ice for the Leafs. Mm-hmm. Jake Allen almost had like a 4 goals against average last season, and then they're showing Ilya Samsonov. He only had a .919 save percentage, which was a little low for the record that he had.
Yeah, but considering that he has struggled in the past too, I think that, like, to be honest, if you're getting at least 915 save percentage, I think that's at least something to look forward to. Again, it kind of like things kind of went down a little bit for both him and Murray in the second half, where they both had their moments, but still 915 save percentage. I believe his 5-5 save percentage was still relatively good. High danger save percentage, which is pretty big. He led all NHL goaltenders with, I think, 1,000 minutes in that department. So the fact that he was able to be a little bit more composed, still some panic at times when it's like in front of him, was a really good sign. But yeah, I do think that his save percentage was pretty average, I would say, but still really good compared to what the Maple Leafs saw, especially
and what other goalies had too, right?
Like, yeah, I was just about to say with Campbell, Anderson was something. Yep.
No, it's true. He was terrible. You might want to watch.
We have a goal, don't we?
You might want to watch.
I'm probably going to watch. It's probably
you might want to watch. Oh no. Oh no. I'm not going to ever say anything, even though I know I'm ahead of you now. So
We have a goal.
Do you have it on your end or no?
Oh, I just saw it right now, Brody. No.
Breakaway. See you later. Jake
No.
Oh, that's such like just seeing the replay there. Like, so he just fell down
He
completely.
blew a tire there. Oh man.
That's brutal. But it was on like I blame a little bit of that on Samsonov too for not being more ready. Like that seems like Evans didn't have a lot of room to kind of do a lot of moves. It was just a simple backhand forehand, and it not like he went completely top shelf there. But man, brutal way to start. It was funny too. We just finished talking about Brody too. Like, I mean, it's early. It's a slip up. Shit happens, right? But obviously not the way you want to start a game.
Yeah, and especially for Brody too, because there were instances last year where there were plays like that led to a goal, and he's better than that because he's able to play that spot very well. But yeah, that's very ugly right there. That's not the kind of start that you wanted if you're the Maple Leafs right there. And yeah, I guess Samsonov probably could have like squared up a little bit better, but tough spot for him no matter what.
It's tough. I mean, like first breakaway of the season, you're like, what? What do we do?
I was about to say maybe Treliving should get on the horn with defenseman right now.
You would think. Okay, so question for you here. As the Leafs get a good chance coming in, I won't spoil anything really.
I just saw someone with a good chance in tight.
I was going to ask too, if for some reason it goes off the rails a little bit this season and the Leafs don't finish where they need to finish, and let's pretend like they're one and done in the first round, right? Mm-hmm. Is Keefe's job on the line?
I mean, considering that they just okay, nice break
in the 3-on-2 there,
yeah, that was pretty, and of course Nylander leading the way. Considering that they just re-signed him, I think for like another about a year or two, I believe.
Yeah,
I mean, you want to give him an opportunity, especially with the new team that he has, because we're so used to seeing him with the toys that he had with Justin Hall, Alex Kerfoot, and all that. You don't have that right now. I want to see what he can do with this team. But yeah, you have to think that he is going to be on the hot seat. He already is, in my opinion, because
even after signing the extension.
Yeah, because basically it just gives him a little bit more security if things go well. But if it doesn't and it's another, failed season, yeah, you got to consider that at that point.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, it's you now like, okay, you were given the extension, right? Like you obviously made you made it to the second round after all these years now, and now it's like, okay, like it's time to show up, right? So yeah, no, I think he deservingly so needs to be on the hot seat here. But now speaking like of Montreal a little bit, I still love St. Louis being the head coach here in Montreal. Yeah. I think it's such a good place for him to be. And I think it depends like on how the season goes. If it wasn't for goaltending for Montreal, I think they'd be in a much better situation.
I think they'd be a little bit more competitive. Yeah, I think. And again, it kind of seemed like they had something where they brought in Casey DeSmith. I think that maybe would have been a good tandem with Jake Allen because you have an NHLer with some experience. But yeah, it just didn't quite make sense why they would give up on him. Maybe they still have faith in Montembeault, but yeah, and that's just a bad penalty to take right there.
I gotta tell you, oh yeah, true. What was the penalty? I missed that.
Holding. Yeah.
Now you give him
his hand wrapped around his neck.
Now you give him a chance on the power play here. I mean, the shots, it's still Toronto.
It's relatively close, yeah, but you don't want to give them that opportunity, especially considering how well you have with Suzuki and his playmaking, Caulfield and a shot.
I was just gonna say Montreal's top line right now is Nick Suzuki, Kirby Dach, Sean Monahan. I imagine Cole Caulfield's on there somewhere, and I
believe it was Mike Matheson.
Matheson, thank you. Yeah. I'm so happy Monahan's getting another chance, man. That guy, injuries that just killed him. And I'm just happy he's finally getting a chance now in Montreal to just kind of prove himself a bit more. And I really do hope that he kind of just regains his form a little bit because he was such a beloved guy in Calgary. And you know what, too? Something that's not said enough about him is the fact that he's been such a good member in the community.
Yeah.
He's such a good community member. And I really hope he kind of resurges himself a little bit this season.
Yeah, again, for some of the players that deal with injuries, he's had the most rotten luck, and that's the one thing that you want to try and hope that he can turn the corner. Because when they acquired him, I kind of thought that big gamble to take, but it's something that could pay off if he could stay healthy.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite work out last season where injury bug was still an issue. Maybe this is the one where it kind of turns around.
But I think it was funny, like last year, they didn't have a lot going for them towards the end of the season. So they were kind of like, look, let's just play this game by game here and see how you're feeling, right? Like, we don't have to pressure you and do anything. And, they finally get him to like 100%, right, going into the season. So I think that was probably the most important part for him. It looks like the Leafs are probably going to be killing off this power play soon. I don't want to jinx anything, but so far they've done a good job penalty kill wise. How confident are you that the Leafs are going to be consistent with their penalty kill this year? As in, like, do you think this is a penalty kill that might be top 10, top 5 in the league, despite how thin they could be on defense, considering Klingberg's more of an offensive defenseman, like some of the acquisitions there, or where do you stand?
Yeah, I do think that, their penalty kill last year wasn't all that bad. It was at 81.9%. They were in the top 15 in the league. So still some concerns right there. But I think the big issue right now is like, how is Matthews going to fare? It seems like he said that he was having fun on the penalty kill right there, or the power kill,
right,
as we like to call. He had some good moments with Marner. Now it's just trying to like maintain that, balance. And not only that, it's an opportunity for him to get more ice time, more points, if he's able to get that breakneck speed and get on those odd man rushes with Marner. Because I think they work magic together in that sense. If they're able to do that, then I think it's going to work wonders.
I think so too. And what we haven't talked about ever since it happened this summer was the contract extension for Matthews. I don't think we really had a little conversation about that when it got signed. What were your initial thoughts the second it kind of happened? Like, what were your initial thoughts when he signed the extension?
Sheer joy that we could stop with the whole Matthews to Arizona, Matthews to like somewhere else in the league or whatever.
He was never going to Arizona. There was
as good as Arizona's on the up and coming right now, I just don't see it. I just didn't see it then. I still don't see it right now, even after the 5 year or 4 years are done here. No. But you know what? It needed to be done. The fact that he wanted to get it done, both sides wanted to come to an agreement. The fact that he broke the news himself was actually kind of hilarious. But like for him to get that value, to be honest, I think he could have got a lot more. I think with that money, I think it's fair value for what he is right now. And there's also the cap's going to go up, so it gives the Maple Leafs some room too in the near future. And again, depending on how much, we'll see, but it gives them something to work with. And, $13 million for, a 50, 60 potential goal scorer, Hart Trophy winner. Obviously you want to see a little bit more in the playoffs, but you know what? They did well, and Matthews did well cashing in.
Whoever his agent is deserves a massive raise, right? I think
it's Judd Moldhauer.
Right. Just unbelievable job. Just like the negotiation process, like, he deserves all the credit in the world, right? Like Matthews' camp, like, deserves all the credit for getting the negotiations done and him getting his money. So I love it for Matthews' perspective. This is just as an outsider here. I hate it for MLSE though. Like I don't like it. So now it puts you in a situation where we're going to see what Nylander does this season. Right. And I'm sure you guys know this, right? You guys clearly have had conversations about this ever since, right? And it's going to bring up a lot of, and so it's going to bring up a lot of interesting thoughts, like what, there's some random fight now going on.
It's Revo, isn't it?
Of course it's Revo.
I think it was because of that hit right there. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're going to want to watch this.
Oh, I can't wait. This is why I hate it. I feel like I need to get like better cable or better service provider, because man.
Oh no,
that was it. He
okay.
kind of turned. Oh, Revo. Oh, there's the Jack Eye fight.
Yeah.
The Revo Jack Eye fight that we wanted in the preseason. Let's go.
So Revo goes in, and then to me, Jack Eye should have got a penalty there.
That was that to me, he should got 2 for instigating, because that kind of looked like a clean hit. He did kind of turn at the last minute.
Well, because Revo's not the one instigating the fight. He just threw his gloves off and started going at it. He's just still getting up.
It should be 2 and a 5 for Jack Eye, but Revo should still get the 5, and that's a heavy hit right there.
but and the net crashing over.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I didn't know that's how you pronounce his name either, so thank you for saying
Jack, yeah.
I was gonna butcher it.
Oh, I love there we go, Revo. Let's go. That's why we brought him in.
That's the only reason why you have him there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Jared's saying he's at the Bruins game tonight. Oh, no way. Nice. Very good.
Oh, excellent.
If you get a chance, have you gone up to Perry Sound at all by chance? And you've seen the Bobby Orr little...
No, I have not.
You should. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kelly
I've heard really great things about that.
Yeah, we love a good Tilly to start. And some predictions too. Actually, maybe we should have done this at the beginning because we normally did do this in the playoffs. If it wasn't for 1-0 Habs right now, what's your predictions for tonight?
I was thinking maybe 4 or 5-1 Leafs.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens, because if they get one more, then there goes my prediction, and it's meaningless at this point.
I think it's going to be close tonight. I think it'll be like some sort of empty net, or it's early on. I think I'm going to take the Habs tonight, though. I think it'll be like, or now that the way that it's kind of progressing, I think it's going to be like 4-2, maybe something like that.
Fair.
That's my guess. Just because we had some other people also say, we got Liam saying 5-3 Leafs. We got, front row saying 5-2 Leafs. A lot of Leafs guys in here tonight. Mm-hmm. We got Jacob saying 7-1 Leafs, which could still very well happen because it's nothing. So just a couple of comments. I'm just curious to see what the predictions were for tonight.
Yeah.
Donnell is back. He was with us for the playoffs last year. What's going on, Donnell?
I remember Donnell, yeah.
Yeah. He was with us for a bit of the playoffs last year, and honestly, we had so much fun doing it last year in the playoffs that I can't wait for it to happen again this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually, again, because we're doing a lot more like events and giveaways and that, I actually just got word today that we're doing another giveaway for the Heritage Classic coming up in a couple of weeks.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's a nice little item to give away. So we'll figure it out.
Okay. Have to, I love the fans in the front row of the boards just immediately getting out their phone just to take the video of the flight or pictures.
I love it. So it turns out the Leafs actually did get a power play from that, which is the right call.
Makes sense. Yeah. Again, Jack I was the one. Yeah, instigator. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I thought that was the right call. There was no need to start that fight for any reason. I didn't even think like Reeves' hit, like, yeah, it was kind of like from behind, but it wasn't anything too.
Again, you see Gourley turn inward at the last minute or last second.
And I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, come on. Be smarter with the management.
Mm-hmm. So we got Klinger's going to be out there with Nylander. Marner's out there. He's got Matthews, and I imagine Tavares is there too. Yeah. Do you like Tavares on the top power play unit?
I do. I think maybe you could even try and maybe swap him with Nyes as like a net front presence kind of guy, because Nyes is good in the middle of the ice, taking the lane or taking the sights away from the goaltender. But with John Tavares there with his hands too, it's still a perfect fit for him. And even when he goes into that bumper slot area, I think that's a good. Oh, okay, good shot.
I don't know. I just think I understand wanting to overhaul your first power play unit because it's probably going to be the unit, but once they get tired the last 30 seconds or whatever, or even like the shift beforehand, if Matthews and Marner and whatever were all out and they just got off, right? And all of a sudden the power play goes up, you need a good second power play unit to back it up, right? So that's the only reason why I'm maybe thinking, would you not want Tavares to kind of at least center that second power play unit just to make sure that, hey, we can try to win a good draw, right? And have some sort of setup. And if you throw in Nyes in there, and I'm trying to think who else. I don't know, like throw Fraser Minton in there. I don't know.
It looks like this second unit is Bertuzzi, Domi, Yarncroke, and you're going with two defensemen, Liljegren and Riley.
And Riley, like Riley would obviously is going to be there, but I don't know. Like that's just me personally. But then again, you have to think of, okay, who are you going to put in place of Tavares maybe on that first power play unit?
Yeah, I maybe you don't want to put too much pressure on a rookie to put him on the top power play.
For sure.
But I could understand why you would want to get that balance too. And I guess you could consider Domi as a center on that second unit because he can go back and forth between center and wing. But I think maybe if you want like a natural center, I think JT would probably be one of the better options.
I think so too. Yeah. It's also nice like that we have like the little like who got the penalty here and like it was on Reeves like fighting. Yeah, I like that. But I still think that was the right call at the end of the day. I think they had.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be the same thing if that was Revo who dropped the gloves and Jack Eye made a clean hit on somebody, right?
Roles reversed, it didn't matter, right? That was going to get called 9 times out of 10, probably even 10 out of 10 all the time. But we go to commercial break, it looks like, as I know I'm a little bit ahead of you, but nothing really happened there. As Brody with the slip, he shakes his head, and it is Jake Evans still with the first goal tonight. As
I'm already getting messages from my family members who are Habs fans, and they're already like, "Oh," and I'm like, great."
This might be a good question for you though. If you actually think they're the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL, because
it does make a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
It makes 100%, 110% like sense or whatever.
Right.
Considering the expectation that they have as like one of the top franchises, you want, like, it's either like boom or bust every single year.
Right.
Same thing with the Maple Leafs, especially when it comes to the playoffs. I really don't know what's going on in football right now. I've been out of the loop a bit. I don't know how well the Cowboys are doing. But in terms of like history, sorry.
Don't look at what happened last Sunday.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Anyway,
I could definitely see the similarities between the two. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I get it because I'm not the most favorite Leafs fan. Like, listen, I like the team. Don't get me wrong. I like the team. I like the guys on the team for the most part, all that, yada, yada, yada. But it's just growing up with the fans, like, and then like growing up, like going to school, and then you get all the Leafs fans, and it's just like, it just gets to you after a while. But it's like, it's one thing to like be all that every single year, right? But it's another to like understand, like, okay, this is where we can realistically be at, right? Like, I don't know. That's just kind of where I've been my whole life. And listen, like being a Flames fan, I don't have a lot of hope. Okay, like I got another game to watch after this, so it's just like, oh my god, I can't wait for that one though. As we're getting back here, I have to ask. This is just general fan question here. Don't you think the worst seats ever are right behind the bench?
It's interesting you brought that up because the one time I went to a Leaf game, like,
were you there?
Years ago, I was behind a bench. It was Leafs and Lightning.
Okay.
And like I was there with a couple of my friends from school, and we were like probably right there where they had the shot of Jake Evans.
Okay.
Right there, like right behind the team bench. You know, you heard everything. Like I remember surprisingly enough, the Maple Leafs won that game, and that was like the Phil Kessel era where they were so up and down. I think it was when they actually made the playoffs as well in the shortened season, but then lost to Boston, and I'm just going to end it right there. But that was the one time. Yeah, it is kind of difficult because when it's going one way, you have bodies or whatever from the bench. It's on a bad angle. It is kind of weird, but then again, you get to hear a lot of the F-bombs because I heard
true.
One time Stammer was coming off from a shift and he like rang a shot off the post. He comes back and he yells out the biggest F-bomb that I heard. I'm just like, yes, that's what I live for right now.
I love to hear it. Also, I think they're on like a lower, like where the coaches and the trainers and all that. Like, aren't they on more of like a lower platform there? So that like
they're on like it's like a little bit of a race platform too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
If from even when I coach too, like it's kind of a bit different, but yeah, no, I think it is like a bit of a raised pedestal or raised platform there.
I don't know. Every time I see like people sitting behind there, I'm like, wouldn't you get annoyed and tired of people just walking back and forth in front of you and not actually being able to see the play?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. As shots are 7-7 now. We got about 5 minutes left here. What are you making so far this first period?
I mean, it seems like the Maple Leafs are getting more offensive zone time. It seems like the Habs are just getting one and done chances, but they're quality chances. And obviously that breakaway was a big issue, but the Maple Leafs have been controlling like a lot of the play on the cycle down low. Like there were like a couple of shifts from both the top six have been absolutely phenomenal. Just, you got to get a little bit open. You got to start converting on chances and try to get Allen moving and get into the sights a bit too, because it looks like he's seeing everything a bit too easy.
I was just going to mention that. Like, I think Jake Allen's actually been seeing everything very well. I think he's been doing.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Crash the crease.
Yep, Grieger right there. He had him like he was trying to go top corner there, but Jake Allen, he's still been seeing the puck very good tonight, so I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely happy that they signed Gregor to the PTO and that he signed the contract, because he like, obviously he doesn't quite have the best finishing touch, but the speed that he has complements it a little bit, because the fourth line isn't the quickest, but having him there definitely like builds him up and makes him a little bit more dangerous.
That's fair. We've got Danelle asking us, which team do you think will be the worst team this season? Who's going to be eyeing for that number 1 pick? It's a good question. I'll let you go first on that.
I think it's going to be the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah, it seems like
I think you're still going to see like a lot of the teams, the Chicago, Montreal, are going to be probably around there. But I do think that San Jose and even Anaheim too, maybe 1-2 punch, might be. I think it's definitely going to be one of those 2 California teams.
I have to pull up the score now, and I gotta see okay, I just need to see visualize the teams for a second, because normally I would agree with you. I think San Jose's probably got the most rough sledding ahead, considering just looking at their entire roster. Their goaltending's not looking that great. Nothing that I'm impressed about. Right now I would probably agree with you. I think the Sharks are probably going to be in some tough water. I think the Ducks are going to be a little bit better this season. I don't expect them to be too much. I think maybe a better question, because I think the Sharks is a pretty easy way to go off of. Maybe a better question is, is there a team that you foresee really falling off this year? Like maybe somebody who was in the playoffs or who was in the hunt that just really is going to fall off this year.
The reason why I also want San Jose to win, because of Macklin Celebrini, I want them to have a night where it's like Mako night, like a Mako Shark.
Okay,
okay, you like that? I did that one time too, and people hated that, and I'm like, okay, well, that was good. Okay, at least you kind of liked it.
I liked it.
But I go by this site called My NHL Draft, where they have a mock projection of where all the teams could possibly play, and they have the Ducks, Coyotes, and Sharks 1, 2, 3. But I still think the Sharks are going to be very tough this season,
especially in the division. It's just going to be brutal.
Yeah. As for a team that could fall off, I still think that the Washington Capitals are still going to be in decline. I think that they could be middle of the pack, but that Metro division right now, I think it's already set where you have Carolina, New Jersey battling it for 1-2, the New York Rangers, and even the Islanders. I think the Penguins.
I don't think Columbus is a joke either.
I think they could battle for it. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but they will be one of those. They'll be one of those teams that'll make things interesting. But I do think that Washington does take another step back this season. Yeah, and even the Penguins, I don't have that quite much faith in the Penguins as well.
Just watching them last night, they were just. It does seem like the age is starting to catch up a little bit with them. It's one game. We're not gonna bash a lot of these teams for it being one game. Speaking of the first game, you got Senators up 1-0 right now in Carolina. Got a lot of guys actually on the network who are currently at that game and live streaming it as well too on their end. But just to quickly answer Danelle's question, maybe on my end, I think the team that pops in mind real quick is probably going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it wasn't even like Vasilevsky being injured. I still thought that it was going to be tough, all year. And despite, I think they won last night anyway versus Nashville, but still, I think it's going to be a tough year for them. I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of carrying again by Stamkos, Kucherov, and Point. A lot of guys who are still going to have to carry this team a little bit, and Hedman. And, you have to imagine at some point that these guys are feeling the effects of going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals and being in the playoffs last year. You have to be thinking that at some point it's going to catch up to them, So I would say the Lightning, but I also agree with you there as well with Pittsburgh and Washington. I think it's going to be tough uphill sledding. As we got 3 minutes left here, Habs are really pressing again. It's been pretty even, man. Shots are 8-8, and I think both teams have had good chances. You take that one little breakaway away, and it's still a 0-0 game. It looks like they're still trying to feel each other out. It almost seems like,
which is interesting because they played each other 2-3 times. Given that it was always a different roster, but you still kind of get a sense of who's going to be on the team at the end of it all. Even during preseason, you knew who was going to be on that final roster.
I want to bring up another thing that Danelle mentioned. We got 2 minutes left here before the end of the first period here. It's true. Like, there hasn't really been, obviously the Leafs haven't won since 1967, and a lot of the other teams who, haven't won in a long, long time. Do we really feel like this could be a year where it breaks, whether it be the Leafs, the Oilers get in? Sometimes you get like one of those Florida teams last year where they just go on a run, whether that be, I don't know, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Calgary, whoever may jump into that conversation as well. Like, do we think that there's enough firepower that they can actually get the job done this year?
Always the potential to get the job done. I think out of all the teams, I think the Senators have the best chance to push forth and, compete for a spot. I still have some doubts and question marks with the goaltending. I want to see a little bit more to see what can happen here.
For sure.
But, yeah, I in terms of like this being Canada's team, yeah, I understand they haven't won anything, but they have a rich history. Them and the Canadiens were the original two teams in the original six. So I think that's why you have so many fans. Like, their parents were like, it's been like a generational kind of thing. Like, parents teach your kids to be Leaf fans, Habs fans, what have you. I mean, my dad tried to convert me into a Bruins fan, and I just said, no, that ain't happening at like 2-3, because I went to a Leaf Bruins game and I was more enamored with the Leafs than the Bruins.
Right.
So yeah, it's all based, again, it's all just a rich history. And yeah, it has been a while since they won something, but given how even in the late 90s, early thousands, that's when the team started to come around again as well. I think that's renewed the hope there a bit. And Revo almost just scored there.
I know they're getting a lot of good pressure here. They've had about 40 seconds here in the offensive zone, just over a minute left in the game here. And this is coming from that fourth line you were mentioning earlier with Ryan Reeves on it too. So they're gaining a lot of pressure as well. Yeah. So I'm curious to see, like you mentioned Reeves earlier, like, outside of him being that kind of shit disturber, so to speak, like, how much is he going to really play into this Leafs fourth line this season? Like, obviously he's going to get some chances, like shots on goal, like as you should, like any regular hockey player. But is that really his role going into this season for this team?
I mean, not necessarily on paper, but on the surface, given what he's done throughout his career, yeah, you expect him to just be that bruising type of player. But look at that. He was in position right there, intercepted the puck, and didn't quite get the handle. Obviously, he doesn't have the best hands, but he was in position. He's always in position very well to, like, create a screen.
2-on-1. At least 2-on-1. Oh, I don't know if that was a penalty or not.
But yeah, I think he does have like a little bit of an underrated game offensively, even though he doesn't get a lot of points. I think he's in the right spots at the right time.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to spoil this for you, but I'm just like, No.
I heard at least 2-on-1. I'm just like, oh boy, don't know.
You can kind of judge when you see it. Oh,
that's Riley right there. Nice. Okay.
It looked like it was going to be a penalty for a second there, but I might have
it looks like. Are you talking about the trip on Knives?
Yeah, like, I don't know if it was.
I think he just turned on himself. It was more that. If that did not hit Minton, I think that probably would have gone in, or if it would have been, that would have been a fortunate bounce for your first NHL goal.
Can you imagine?
Oh,
looks like they're just gonna play this. Oh, Nylander. Okay. Yeah, they're just gonna play this out here for the rest of the first.
Fraser Minton butt goal for his first NHL one.
Yeah, so
that would have been nice.
I can confirm that nothing really happened there at the end of the first, as we are 1-0 at the end of the first intermission. So I don't mean to spoil, but I'm just telling you nothing happened. So
it happens.
Cool.
Yeah.
How far back are it just hit intermission? Like, are we 30 seconds ahead?
I would say you're probably like 30 seconds ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so first intermission, Habs. Jake Evans are up 1. Habs are up 1-0. Thoughts after the first?
I mean, you can't be too mad because it was just that one gaffe and like a little slip. Right. Yeah, it was just that one mistake. But then again, that's usually that one mistake that usually ends up being the difference maker when you're the Maple Leafs right now. But they answered very well. Didn't give them a whole lot of zone time, especially after that power play. Maple Leafs seemed to have controlled it in terms of like zone time cycle, but they need to start peppering more shots and start getting into Allen. They started to do that later on, as we saw with the, all four lines basically started to crash the crease a little bit. But yeah, I think they just got to put a little bit more pedal to the metal. I think that's what they just got to do right now.
I think so too. You got to start peppering some shots, right? I'm just going to take that out for a minute because we're yeah, no, I agree. I think they got to start peppering some more shots, right? They got you got to understand this team should be clearly better. No, obviously you had the one mistake. It really should be 0-0.
Connor Bedard gets his first against the Bruins.
Wow. That was cool.
The Bruins are the first victim of Connor Bedard's career.
Wow. Is it 1-0 Chicago?
It's 1-0 Chicago, yes.
Wow.
I want to see how good this goal is. Oh, here we go. I'm just watching it on my phone right now.
I know PJ or RJ has it here, but the Senators are currently up 1-0. Yeah, and you got Chicago up 1-0 as well, too.
Yeah. Wraparound.
Is it good?
Wraparound goal for Bedard.
Okay. I mean, he's a fast guy, too, so I give him credit.
Quick hands. And you know what? I've noticed this, too. Obviously, other people and, analysts have, noticed this. His stick is longer than it usually is for his
I know.
that reach and the way that he's able to, use the toe drag, the curl and drag to bring that in, it really makes a difference. And that long reach is good for pulling off moves, getting that one, because that definitely throws a lot of people off. So
right,
typical Boston, though.
You're like, fuck yeah. Cool. I'm gonna take a bathroom break. I'm gonna play the commercial, and we'll come back.
Absolutely, same here.
Cool. Okay. Come back. He's probably taking longer, which is all good, but I had to take a second just to throw on the Guelph Storm jersey right now, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of layers, so it's a little tight fitting. Hey, there we go. funny how great minds think alike, eh? That's funny. What's
Did we become best friends?
I know. What's
wow,
Matthews?
Matthews. I got to get it going for 300.
Nice. I know, Dylan. You're probably looking at, I didn't have anything for the Leafs tonight, so I'm trying to wrap for Tuesday tonight.
I love how we both say, bathroom break, and then all of a sudden we both come back with jerseys.
It wasn't right.
That is way too funny, but yeah, I recognize this from Global TV.
Listen, though, that's got to be so exciting for you, though, right?
Is. It is.
How was the whole experience? Did you have to wake up super early this morning? How did it go?
Yeah, because it is the morning show, I did have to wake up. I set my alarm for 6:15, but you know what? I was ready to go. I was already amped. I was already I went to bed early to try to get ready for the day. But yeah, as soon as I woke up, I was just completely energized and I was already raring to go. And obviously, having to go in to do the
I have breaking news. Can I break it real quick?
Go right ahead.
Owen Power is locked up with the Sabres on a 7-year deal worth $58 million at an $8.35 million cap hit. Wow. So Darlene gets his extension the other day, and all
Darlene
of
gets like the 7 figures. Power gets 6. Wow. Everything is happening right now.
Well, you know what's funny is so Jake Sanderson, Owen Power, and now Rasmus Dahlin all have their 8-year extensions locked in. Like these young guys are getting their deals quickly, right? Didn't mean to interrupt there. I just got the notification.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hey, I love when we're doing stuff like this and breaking news happens. Because
what do you think of the signing? Initial thoughts on Owen Power?
I mean, you locked him in for the future. You avoid that like bridge area. You know what you're getting. A very solid 2-way puck moving defender. Again, strong on both sides of the puck. There's a reason why they had faith in him when they drafted him first overall. I think that this is a really good foundation because now you got your top 2 defenders locked in. That's really tough to do.
Yeah.
Obviously you have Tage Thompson locked in. Now you got to worry. Now everything else should follow the play of where you expect players to sign. Now you got to worry about Dylan Cousins. I think he's good. I'm not sure what his contract situation is going to be like.
I imagine it'd be good. But anyway, or his situation. Oh yeah,
like what he's like currently in right now. A quick look at Cap Friendly should help.
We love Cap Friendly.
Oh, it's the best. Oh no, he's locked in 7.1. So you have 2 of your top. So you have 3 more. So Jeff Skinner locked in at 4 more years at $9 million. If he's able to replicate the last season, that's going to look even better. 2 of your top star forwards at 7.1 million. Your top defender at 11, and your other top defender at 8.3.
Right.
That's our core right there.
As Eric was mentioning, yeah, we just got the notification as well, but we appreciate you putting that below as well. Yeah, so he does lock in at 7 years. For those of you who don't know, it was a 7-year, $8.35 million deal. I am loving everything that the Sabres team is doing right now. I think this is a team that is just looking so good going forward, man. And they really are like, it's good that they're locking their young guys early, guys who who are proven, who are ready to go. And if Devin Levi can all of a sudden just turn a corner and be a keystone to this team, man, like this is gonna be a tough team in your division coming up.
It's basically 2-2-1 as your core right there.
Well, exactly, right.
That'll be huge if Devin Levi can live up to what he's supposed to be. Then then the Buffalo Sabres are going to be back to where they were like post NHL lockout in 05-06, where they were absolutely dominant.
And so it was funny too. Like I went up to school in Sudbury, right, and that's where Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen was still playing for the Sudbury Wolves at the time, and we went to a lot of games there, and got a chance to watch him a little bit. And I'm shocked that he really hasn't developed into a first-tier like 1A goaltender. He's just like he seemed like too good at the time, and I don't know what's happened to him. And I really hope he kind of regains that form a little bit. I want you to talk about Global in a second here, but I also wanted to quickly mention too that the Senators were shorthanded. They're shorthanded for their season opener tonight because their cap crunch and injuries have affected it. So they're 1 skater short because of that. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They're playing with 2 guys on their 4th line.
Yeah, this whole situation where like the Maple Leafs have been in that situation too, where they've had like to do emergency calls, but maybe there were times where they couldn't. They had to play short. I mean, there has to be like a special or like a certain situation where the NHL could just say, you know what, we'll give you some leeway and maybe just throw the salary cap out just for a bit, or like all this contract talk or whatever, just to like help them out in that regard, because you don't want to be shorthanded as a result of the cap.
Right.
And again, kind of not saying that this is all on the Senators management, but if you had Shane Pinto signed up and you probably manage your cap a little bit better, maybe you wouldn't be in this situation. But it's still tough knowing that, you have to play down a man or 2. And that's
right.
That is tough. That does suck.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want to be in that situation, but you got to do what you got to do. Anyway, let's go back to what you're talking about, Global. I can't remember where we ended off, but go ahead.
No. I mean, I was just nearing the end of it. Like, it was just a really great experience, logging in. Obviously I did it, virtually through my camera here.
Did they give you a link? Like,
there was a link. Yeah. No, I had it. Yeah. So it was all Zoom. So
cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I was able to do it remotely. And it was like, basically it started and it ended. It was just like that. It went by very quick, but
like,
so
just like So when it happens, like, do you just log in? Do you just sit there and wait and then
wait until I go into the room and everything like that? Like basically with any other meeting, like with this, with Zoom. Yeah. So you just wait there. But at the same time, like everybody was ready. They obviously with TV schedule to keep, everything's lined up with all the time slots and all that.
Right.
But still fun. Still great to do that experience.
I thought it was funny, like because they brought up at the end, like they had like the little ticker on the bottom where they had like your show, they had the hockey, they had you as the hockey writer's writer, and I'm like, damn it, like damn it, like,
yeah.
I was kind of like, what? You couldn't at least have our socials in there, like, right.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want. I mean, it was tough to have like the whole entire thing, like, socials all the way through. Yeah, but
I laughed a little bit. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Not that, like, look, I don't think people look at that really at the end of the day anyway. So it's not a big.
They asked for socials, and that was like basically the first three that came into mind. Sorry, I probably should have like promoted the pod network a little bit too,
but you're there to promote your show, right?
Yeah,
like that was the reason behind it. So no, that's good. No, that's awesome. I mean, me personally, I probably would have been nervous as hell being on that, right? Because I think you'd be surprised how many people actually tune in for that sort of stuff. If it is early in the morning, people are getting ready for work, right? Like you have to imagine, like, they're just throwing on something on the TV in the background as they're eating their Honey Nut Cheerios or whatever it is. You're just sitting there like, so that must have been, it's super exciting, but I'm glad, like, that's awesome. That's what's happening with you there. And hopefully that opens up more doors, right?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think like once that happens, then maybe everything else could fall into place. I think that's the main goal for everybody at that point. But
and I think it's just like, and I've been telling our guys this too, is just like, just keep going with it, right? You get the one and it's great, but now it's just like something you can keep going with as well too, right? And especially when we brought on Rod Peterson the other day, right? Now he's now a part of EHPN now, which is amazing. I've been urging guys to like just start connecting with one another as the season goes on, right? Like, when the Leafs play, I don't know, when they play Detroit, for example, right? Let's talk to the grind line guys. Let's get those conversations going a little bit so we can, just start generating it, right? And I think that's what we ultimately really just want to see is like that collaboration part of it happening. And it's just nice to see that, it's starting to pay off for you guys.
For sure. Yeah, no, definitely it is. And that's the big thing. That's basically what this industry is. Connections.
Speaking of betting, because DraftKings is our sponsor, mentioned below, also you can use code THPN if you want to get $10 off on your first deposit. The live money line right now is that Montreal is at -105 and Toronto is at -125. So they still have Toronto as slight favorites, knowing that they can kind of come back into this game a little bit, which makes a lot of sense. And just kind of thinking ahead, you're going to the second period, which I imagine they're going to be starting very soon. Obviously, you need more pressure on Allen. Like you said before, like you need to start getting in front of him. You need like those garbage type goals going into this second period.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna see Connor Bedard's goal real quick.
Oh yeah, there you go. Because I was able to see it on my phone because I was able to pull it up, but
wrap around. Yeah, that's pretty easy.
It was pretty nice.
It's 1-1, obviously after the first, but like I don't know how I feel about Boston this year. I'm telling you, I don't like. I don't know where I sit with them. I can't tell if they're going to be a top three. They're either going to be like a top three team, in my opinion, or they're going to just fall right out.
I think they'll just be very average. I don't know if Linus Ullmark is able to replicate what he was able to do. And again, right? I mean, preseason is preseason. It doesn't mean much.
Sure.
But even Jeremy Swayman didn't look that sharp at times. And they were like the dynamic duo in that. And I still have faith that their defense is going to be strong. But their forward unit is going to be very difficult. Obviously, you're going to rely heavily on Pasta, Marchand. I mean, Trent Frederick got the goal for the Bruins there. Is he going to be already a 50, 60-point guy? Doubt it. Because that's basically what Bergeron and Krejci were, the two-way 50, 60-point guys. I think that they may just fall out. I think they may miss the playoffs.
It's going to be so tough. I think Buffalo steals a top 3 spot this year. I don't see them not getting that. I think they're that good this year.
One of Buffalo or Ottawa is definitely getting in. I could definitely.
Yeah, I like Buffalo a little more than I do Ottawa this year. As Eric is saying, it was Trent Frederick who scored for Boston to tie it, correct?
Sorry?
It was Frederick who you said that was
Frederick scored for Boston, yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool. And I don't know if you follow playoffs, but apparently the Phillies are spanking the Braves right now. Look, we don't have to talk about the Blue Jays because we're both from basically the Toronto area. I know I'm like an hour outside, but still, we're from the Toronto area. I'm honestly like, I'm not surprised, and I'm so glad that it went down that way, the way it did.
Yeah, I honestly thought it would have been better if they just missed the postseason. Because you knew exactly how it was going to play out, and it exactly played out how it was supposed to be.
The stupid thing is that, like, in my opinion, they had the easier path, right? It's not like the Twins team was like a dynasty by any stretch, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, they should have won game 2, right? And I thought it was so weak of Ross Atkins, right? Apparently, he had no knowledge of Berrios getting pulled out in the 4th, right?
Don't go there. Do not go there.
Then he decides, because it's Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, then he has to hold a press conference on a Saturday afternoon on Thanksgiving weekend. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, I honestly, I do not trust anything Ross Atkins says anymore. No. I don't trust anything he says. John Schneider, you should have known better than to pull your starter pitcher who is wheeling and dealing at that point. It was only 47 pitches. Like,
it was 47.
I do not get that. And you know what's funny? I was watching the broadcast. You hear Buck Martinez. He's just like, there should be no reason to pull him out. And literally like a pitch or two later, he walks the batter and then they pull him. And then it's like, what? Like, everything that the broadcast just said right now is just irrelevant. And it's like, what is going on?
I hate it. I also just realized, now that we're kind of getting back into the second intermission here, I forgot that Nick Suzuki's also Guelph Storm. He was also Guelph Storm. So there is reason to wearing this tonight.
And the series is tied 1-1 in the Braves and Phillies.
Yeah, because the Braves, they won 5-4 the other night, and they took the lead in the 8th, and then they closed it out. But who do you have a preference? Like, I don't know. I haven't really been following the playoffs this year for baseball. Do you have a preference, like, who you think's going to win?
I want another Braves championship just so Alex Anthopoulos could rub it in.
Oh, I would love nothing more than that. I would love it.
He's made amazing moves. He made amazing moves with the Jays. He's made amazing moves with the Braves.
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
Puck drop has commenced here in the second period. I didn't know what I was saying there, but we got puck drop here in the second. Also, what are you drinking tonight? I
don't usually drink a lot, but when I do drink, it's on opening night and it's Moosehead.
Oh, you're Moosehead.
I'm a big Moosehead guy. Moosehead is my go-to lager, but I'm also a very big Stella guy.
Okay. So I've got I don't know if you're a big golfer or not, but I got triple bogey.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard it. It's
like I know golf, I know the term, but is that just a craft beer? Or?
Yeah, it's craft beer. Yeah. So it's 5%. There's this one. There's also another one I found too. Another reason for you to go to Perry Sound is there's a fantastic brewing company up there called Trestle Brewing Company, and it's beautiful views. Like it's absolutely stunning up there if you get a chance to just go for a night or go for a weekend. But like, it's just like the beer there is great. Like the food there was phenomenal, and the views are great too. And you might want to watch what's going to happen next on the TV.
Oh God, don't tell me it's another goal against.
Well, we're 18:50 into the second period, and yeah, I can't say anything. So I'm just going to let it play out. I'll let you watch for a second.
Oh no, Klingberg 2-on-1.
I hate the effort by Klingberg there. That was so bad. What's he doing? He's just putting his stick out like this.
Oh, yeah, he's not happy.
It's so bad. Oh, yeah, Alex Newhook. I forgot. And Slavkovsky, too. Oh, man. Klingberg, what are you doing? What are you doing? All he did was just this. Right? Oh, I'm going to try to swipe at it. It kind of shows that he really is a offensive defenseman.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not okay with that happening. but I expect that more from an offensive defenseman than a defensive defenseman like you have with Justin Hall. Like Justin Hall will probably be very slow in the reaction time and trying to break a play up like that. That should not be the case considering what his job is supposed to be.
Right.
You knew that. You knew what you were getting with Klingberg right away.
So I imagine the DraftKings odds have now swung a little bit. They've changed a little bit. Habs now up 2-0 here. They clearly came in prepared tonight. Man, Slavkovsky, though, a name that's been very quiet all of a sudden because he was the number 1 pick last year, and now he's kind of coming into his own this year. So,
and Reed's trying to start something, trying to get things going.
But that's the thing. Like, do you really need Ryan Reeves to be the guy to all, like, if you're down in the dumps like this, do you really need him to be the guy to kind of like beat the crap out of somebody and all of a sudden, like, oh, we're just going to take off now? Or do you just need your star players to, I don't know, show up?
Yeah, no, you definitely need your star players to like take advantage of a situation right now.
Yeah.
That's why they're the star players. That's why you pay them. You need them to get something going. Like you need, I think he just did that to try and get something going.
Right. And I get it.
I think right now you got to go to your Matthews line, your Tavares line to get something going because they're your best players. If you get something with, and again, Klingberg not the best.
But outside of the power play tonight, like it's been fairly quiet from the top unit. Like I haven't seen them, right? Obviously they're sticking them on. I think they're sticking them on now. But
the second line has been more noticeable than the first.
Right.
Oh God.
Nothing really happened.
Okay.
I thought something was going to come out of it, but nothing.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I heard you say that. I'm like, oh,
no. They were in the Leafs offensive zone, and then all of a sudden, like, I thought it was going to be like a 2-on-1, but they were a little slow. Oh my God, Christ, you might want to watch that. Man, no goals happened, but it was a really close. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised how quiet they've been tonight in the top line, and I don't know, man.
I just can't wait to hear Keith's comments about how, once again, bad decision.
What a save.
Man, Sammy's keeping them in there.
What a save by Samsonov, man. Oh, it'd be 3-0.
And there's a power play coming.
What the heck?
Offensive zone penalty.
Oh, he got hooking. Oh, it was probably in the other zone when the Leafs were coming down. Okay, so this is it. Now you stick your big guys out there, right? You got to make something out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's early, and I know it's early second period.
Yeah.
You have to make something out of this. I would imagine. Like, you have to. They're 0 for 1 tonight.
All right there on Camp's hands, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's a hook.
No, that makes sense. It was the right call, but now you got
that guy's still in the box?
Yeah, what the hell? Why is he still in the box?
Unless he got a 10-minute unless that's a 10-minute misconduct.
Maybe that makes sense actually if it was 10, yeah. But yeah,
5 and a 10, but
0 for 1 on the power play. I don't think it would surprise me. Why did they decide that Klingberg was a better fit on this top unit rather than Morgan Rielly?
I think the ability to get pucks on, like there's a little bit more power with his shot than Rielly. And also a right-handed shot for like a one-timer opportunity where you could tee up Matthews a little bit more than if he was on his offside. And also if he's able, like, because when the puck's coming up, if it's like, because Matthew, if he is on his offside, you get the puck to Klingberg, he could just wire it on net easily instead of Rielly having to like possibly shift his body angle and then get the puck on net.
Right.
But that is the one thing I could think of. Okay.
Interesting. Because, like, I don't know. How well did they do?
2, 5, and 10 for Jack Eye.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How well were they last year with Morgan Rielly as their top on the unit there?
Well, their power play was like one of the top 2 or 3 in the league.
Let me rephrase. Like, how did you see Morgan Rielly like playing on that top power play unit? And I know it was like a very good unit, obviously, but
yeah. So with Rielly, see, it's weird because that was just a bad pass. Who was that?
They're getting good shots on Allen, though. They're getting a lot of good. Yeah. They're peppering him, but he's seeing everything. There's nobody in front of him.
Johnny, come on.
I'm watching this whole sequence here, and there's no one standing in front of the net
Yeah.
here. Like, you got to be able to get something on that.
And they're able to get pucks by him in the preseason.
So that was close. I can't. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything for you. Oh my god.
So in regards to Riley, like, they had a good power play, but at the same time, for me, Riley at times, like, his shot selection and like, so he would pass when he was shoot and shoot when he was supposed to pass, and you saw that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the big issues that a lot of people had, including myself. I was not a big fan with that, and maybe at times, like, his shot, like, was just like a little bit of a feathered shot than anything. And good shot by Nylander there. No,
I like the comment here, though. Like, obviously, the chemistry, I think it's true. Like, their
absolutely
has improved, especially like with some of their young guys coming in, like Slavkovsky now getting another year under his belt, right? I'm sure Monahan now back to being full health. It's gotten a lot better, and it's proven.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, you see the team coming together. Like, they're a very close knit group.
Yeah.
It's just now that they need to start getting results.
Man,
that is the big thing for the Canadiens this year. Like, you see the chemistry no matter what.
Right. I don't get it with Montreal having the Leafs number every single year on opening night.
It's always opening night, but that's the thing, though. Like, the Leafs could probably win the rest of the series going like 4-1. And this will be a distant memory.
Right. Are there any plans for you to go see the Leafs at all in the next little while? Or
I mean, if tickets weren't so expensive, maybe.
I would agree with that. Is it like I don't look when they're in Ottawa or Buffalo.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to go to the one in Buffalo. Calgary's in Buffalo in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be at that game, or whenever that is next week.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the tickets were very cheap, very affordable, and I might go to the one in Ottawa, depending if it all works out. But have you looked like it must be the same like in Buffalo and Ottawa, correct?
Yeah. No, it's always going to be a little bit cheaper. But again, if Buffalo is going to limit sales to Canadians and you can't have, people crossing the border into Buffalo for those games, it's going to be a little tough. But yeah, if I do go to a game, it's probably going to be up in the bleachers of like, the nosebleeds where the tickets are going to be the cheapest. But
Detroit isn't that bad of a drive. I know it's not far.
And camp penalty. Yeah, after he drew one, he takes one.
Penalty to take.
Yeah, that's bad. That's the same. That was the same call that he drew.
So now you're 0 for 2 on the power play, right? Yeah. And now you're just giving it to Montreal, and all of a sudden they're coming out with, I think it's again Doc, Suzuki, Caulfield, Matheson there on the back end again, and who else am I missing here? Oh no, I think that's it. But still, like you're just giving it to these guys now all of a sudden. My God. Holy crap. Oh my God. Wow. Please tell me you're going to catch up soon. Wow.
Oh God.
Wow. That was gross. That was disgusting. That was actually kind of nice. That was nasty.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. What a snipe. Just the way Monahan tucked that around and then Caulfield Samsonov had it too. Oh my God. I was going to mention beforehand too. Like Caulfield's been fairly
are they going to challenge?
For what? What's Keefe looking at? No, he's not challenging. I don't think he is.
I don't know. Carberry looked down. Carberry looked down and whispered to him.
There is a coach's challenge.
Maybe offside on the entry.
Are they? That's the only thing I can think of. Lucky enough, the situations room is intro. Oh, no, he's fine.
Okay, then maybe he was just talking about how bad the PK was. Oh.
No, they're just looking at as long as he's on the
coach's challenge, okay.
No, he's fine. As long as his skate is on the blue line, he's okay, right?
You're already looking at.
They're going to show it. You'll see, because it is a challenge for offside. I think it's but don't if they lose this challenge, you're giving them another power play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad challenge, man. That's terrible.
Oh, he's onside.
Oh, it's Caulfield. Wait a second. Hold on. Oh, it's Caulfield. I was looking at Monahan.
See, here's the thing about the Maple
He
Leafs.
is offside. Wow.
So it got called back?
No, so that's just what I'm saying. I'll let you know, though.
Because here's the thing with the Maple Leafs video staff. They're very detailed oriented. Oh.
I see. Initially, I was looking at Monahan. I thought he was offside. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, he's offside.
But Caulfield's offside.
Caulfield's offside. So it's the opposite angle.
Yeah, they called it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still power play. Nope. Yeah, so they called it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good challenge. I initially I thought they were looking at Monahan.
Yeah.
But now seeing it from the other way, I was like, oh yeah, Caulfield.
That is the one thing that the Maple Leafs video staff are very on point with. It's the little subtle things that we don't see that they see that is the right call.
Yeah.
And that is definitely, big shout out to the video staff right there.
Yeah, they're definitely getting on point with that though too, right? Like I think like I love that the fact that okay, you're gonna challenge it if you don't get this right. I don't know if I necessarily like there being like
he's way outside at that point. Yeah,
100%. It was a good call
because we were looking at Monahan.
That's what I was looking at. Like, what are we talking about? He's on the blue line. But yeah,
so now, I was just this is the chance to like kill it off and gain momentum because now you just had your saving grace right there.
My worry was that if for some reason it was a good goal, all of a sudden you're back on the penalty heel again, and now you have to kill another penalty.
And then if they score, you're down 4-0.
Right. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of like if you challenge, like I guess you have to send a guy to the box for delay a game. Like, wouldn't you just lose a timeout? I don't know. It should be like for me, it should be football in the sense that
football rules. Yeah, you lose your timeout anyways.
You lose a timeout. You shouldn't be penalized for losing a guy because that sways the whole game.
Yeah, and even I mean, because you take the timeout, it does probably slow it down. I kind of get that, but at the same time, yeah, it does. You want more goals. Try to get another power play, right?
Right, exactly. Victoria's saying hello
there.
Nope, it's not Victoria. I totally lied. I apologize. But anyway, appreciate you coming on all through Twitch too. That's so nice.
Nice.
Yeah, again though, I don't know. What do you think? Like, is that something that they need to I don't like it. I really think it should just be we're taking away your timeout. That way, at the end of the game, you're not allowed to take a timeout in case you are down by a goal and you need that extra 30 seconds to like get your guys together and figure something out. Like, I don't know. I don't love it, but I've seen it before where, if Montreal is up a goal and all of a sudden, like, they take a timeout, then the Leafs will just go to the bench too and they'll figure their crap out, right? Yeah. So that was just me. But anyway, that's all I can say with that. So I apologize, though. I thought it looked like Victor from my little there. Excuse me, Victoria from my little title box there. So I apologize, Victor, but I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for joining.
Yep. And I think you might want to watch what happens next here.
Oh, God. Here we go.
As the Habs penalty was just getting killed off here.
I hear the way that you said that, it sounded like something good.
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
I shouldn't say anything.
Oh, no.
You'll like it, though. I know.
Noah Gregor, baby.
Noah Gregor, fourth liner leads down one. I think they killed the penalty, though, right? Like, I think
they killed the penalty, yeah.
They killed it, and then they go back the other way. So, yeah, they had all the Habs back. So, what was the... I'm just trying to see. Oh, my God. Oh, that's such a bad goal to let in, man.
He scored a same bad goal. I can't remember who it was against the Montreal. I can't remember who the goalie was, but it was another bad goal similar to that.
That's terrible. Jake Allen has to have that. That's ridiculous, right? Like, yeah, I think that's a bad goal on Jake Allen's part, man. Yeah, you have to have that all day long. But hey, now we're back. Now we got a game. Going here. 2-1. Let's go. Shots are still 15-13 Toronto, though, so they're still in front when it comes to shots. But now all of a sudden, like, man, okay, now that it came from Noah Gregor, now you have to say, okay, you need your big boys to start stepping up a little bit now, right?
Yeah.
Like they have to start producing a little bit. Oh, all right, we got a hockey game now.
We got a game. We got a game. And you know what? That's the big thing. They challenged that goal. Now you have a chance to turn the tide. That goal was basically to get them back into this game.
And Gregor was PTO, correct?
PTO,
he PTO. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. And he was San Jose?
San Jose, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought too. God,
it's funny because I wrote about how he could be a very underrated ad with that PTO, and everyone is just like, oh, well, San Jose didn't want him. He must be very bad. I'm like, he's got sneaky good value, you know?
I think so too. I think he does have good value. Just like, so Calgary the other day, they signed AJ Greer.
Goal song is Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're bringing a new goal song.
I was actually I was like putting together a list of songs. Okay, these are songs that I wanted and probably not gonna be played at all. But I wanted for the goal song. So you know the show The Sopranos, right?
Yep.
I hope it was going to be the intro one with Alabama 3. Woke up this morning.
Oh, that would have been a good one.
But me, because I loved that show growing up, I highly doubt that would be a song that they would use. But
I kind of like it. Yeah, I like it.
Now everyone is going to complain that they miss Hall & Oates right now. And they're like, okay, well, that is a good song by Kid Cudi, but
it is. Yep.
Like, I think now that Dreams has been ingrained in our brains so much, we're gonna want it back. Got some gabagool.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I did like their old goal song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very hot take. I mean, I wanted something a little bit more like upbeat. But
I don't know. I don't know. Suited it with
now we're gonna have another argument about the goal song. Like it's never a dull moment in Toronto. I'm telling you right now.
Did you think they did really need an update though for the goal song?
See, here's the thing. I'm a big fan of having individual goal songs, like an MLB walk-up.
Yes,
I am all for that. I want teams to establish that a little bit more because it's more a reflection of your personality as well.
Right.
And I think that would be really cool. I want to see what Reeves' goal song would be if he would score. I want to see what Matthews would pick, Marner, Nylander. I think Mitch Marner would still probably pick Holland.
I would love nothing more than for them to have that, but this is the no fun league apparently. I want to bring Connor in because Connor's always been a good guy to have on our streams. He's been saying that Crosby's time is up for the Pittsburgh Dynasty. They lose 4-2 last night to a below average Blackhawks is not a good sign. Listen, I get it, but it's the first game of the season. You got to get your kinks out. Things happen, right? And
things are happening right now.
Right. And I'm not one to judge right away with the first 5 games in the season. They're forgettable almost, right? With everybody.
Any game in October or maybe towards the end of October, maybe that's when you start to get your bearings a little bit, beginning of November, because I think the American Thanksgiving, that's the cutoff of where you lie in the standings.
Listen, the Flames were 6-1 to start the last season. Okay, we all know how that went.
Oh, yeah.
let's not judge real quick.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit there.
Leafs have been pressuring now very good ever since Gregor potted it in for his first as a Leaf. And they've been pressuring really good now, but I'm expecting that Montreal is going to probably have some sort of response here soon. As it's like
fourth
Montreal,
line again. Fourth line is the one doing basically anything tonight.
Why is it always the fourth line with you guys? I don't get it. Explain that to me. I don't get it with the fourth line.
That is something that even analytics can't prove.
Okay.
But
Alan's been keeping them in, man. Holy crap.
I was about to say too, with the whole Crosby thing, he's getting up there in age, but for him, he kind of ages like fine wine. He still produces. He still is dominant. I guess the team itself is getting up there, and I could get why there's some hesitation, especially after the last season, because there's already going to be doubts about that. But
yeah, exactly.
I think that I honestly think that Karlsson trade by Dubas was kind of like a saving grace move for that last push. And
How do you,
there's no guarantee that Carlson could probably hit 100 points again. That especially on a bad San Jose team alone.
Right.
That was impressive in itself. I don't think he's going to do that again. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I still don't think – I think they're in the decline stage. But
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean – and you're right. Like, he can still – the thing with him is that he doesn't have to hit 100 points either. He's just consistent, right, with kind of what he's done and how he approaches it. Connor's saying he's had a feeling you talk about that, but he lost the face-off to a kid half his age. It's like, dude, like, you're not gonna win every single face-off.
But
like,
let's also give Connor Bedard credit. Connor Bedard is good.
Oh,
like,
100%.
Like, if there's any, like, if like you think that Sidney Crosby is going to get mad because he lost a face-off to an 18-year-old, I don't think so. He's lost face-offs to, like, you know, probably
people have
second,
lost
third, fourth liners too. You're not going to win them all.
Yes, he's not going to win them all, man. No one's going to win them all, man. Are you kidding me? Throw me out there. I'll lose every single face-off draw.
When I played, that was the one thing I was good at. Like, I was good at winning draws.
Do you still play?
I do not play. No, my back is completely shot. So I didn't even bother. I played like 1 year in beer league when my time was up, like years ago. And that's when I started getting major back issues. And I'm just like,
No, you got to take care of that too before it gets pretty bad. We're starting, speaking of beer league, we're playing beer leagues on Sunday mornings. So we're starting up this week. So
oh God. I have to ask, in your league, do you drink in the morning or?
This is a first for me because we just moved from up north to down south. Right.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, like I imagine that they do, you know, these are guys that are clearly much, much older than me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Beer league in the morning does not sound like it's fun.
No, God, like not in the morning. Like I no shot I could do that anymore. We used to do it like during school where we play Fridays at like 2:30, 3:30, and 4:30, right? But like I hated it playing during university times because you're just playing same thing, like pick up stuff, blah, blah, blah. They made really cool jerseys, which was fun. But the only thing that sucked about it was that everybody just took it way too seriously, man. And it's like everybody's 100%. Going in for like there's no hitting. Guys are going in too hard at the boards. Like it's a mixed league too of guys and girls, right? So like there was a lot of times where they were just very hard on a lot of the girls too, who were either A, like clearly not at the same level, but B, too, like they're not looking to go out and try to forecheck and like, or not, excuse me, not forecheck, but like cross check guys across the head. You know what I mean? Like,
I've seen that in the league that I played that 1 year. Yeah,
you're out there. Like the only reason we're out there is for exercise, man. We don't care about the outcome of it. You're just out there to have exercise and just have a good time with it. Yeah. So, I mean, that was the only part that was just kind of crappy about it. But I mean, whatever. Time's over with it, and hopefully it gets better now. But yeah.
We were in a league of like, I think like what, 10, 12 teams. And I think there were only 2 that we respected and that we always had fun playing against. Everybody else is just they were such tryhards. They were trying to be something they weren't. I
hated it.
Like, these are guys that were like 30 years old too, that are still playing their triple A pads, junior A pads. And it's like, okay, yeah, you played at that level, but where are you right now?
And for those of us wondering, like we're just in commercial break right now, so we haven't. There's nothing.
That was just a little commercial break.
But yeah, I mean, and then real quick story too, just to finish that off before we get back to the game. I had a friend growing up, and I played house league my whole life, and he was a goalie. And like at one point, like he was playing AAA, like AA, all that stuff. And there was 1 year where he had to get all new equipment, and it cost him like $8,000 to $10,000. Next year he plays house league. So anyway,
but you know what? There were players that would be like, you know what? I'm at the end. Let's just go have fun. Like I knew players that played double, triple A that came and played house league, and they were like the nicest guys, and they weren't even trying hard. Like, yeah, obviously they stood out because they played at a higher level, but they were having fun with it.
Right.
And power play.
Ooh, that's a bad trip as we went back to the action. Ooh, Alex Newhook for tripping. And all of a sudden, the Leafs are right back in it. Matthews, Tavares, Marner, Nylander, and Klingberg are all out there again as they're
channeling the Matthews jersey right now.
Hey, there you go. Was it expensive to get the jersey, or how'd you swindle that?
Oh, it was a birthday gift.
Lucky.
Yeah. No, this is like the second year when he was with the Maple Leafs that I got it as a gift.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I got all the jerseys early. Like when I think Marner was my first one, then Matthews, and I had to complete the trifecta with Tavares because
The trifecta.
Why not?
So I got about almost halfway through the power play, and
halfway. Okay, I'm at 150.
Oh, sorry, I'm at 120. Sorry.
Oh, okay. 30
almost
seconds.
halfway. Habs were doing a good job though of clearing the puck as
already see. Yeah. Oh, geez. Ooh, Willie, that was bad.
Yeah, he's got to step up on that, and yeah, Nylander is about to have a good chance, I believe. Here, I'll let you watch what's going to happen next. If there's ever a point where I just go quiet, I just want you to know like something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. I just don't know if it's good or bad. Oh, off the post.
I've tried so many times to because I have Bell where I can try to pause it or stop it, but it's like, God damn it, I can't do that.
Oh, 300.
Yeah, that's
300.
They kept the puck. Nylander rings it off the post, and Jake Allen had no chance as Matthews ties it. 2-2.
Let's go.
All right, we got a 2-2 game now. Good comeback. They had to produce there on that power play. I thought that was good. Nice Sally too from them. Good Sally, and yeah, that's 300. So they're gonna keep that in the. They're gonna sign that, and that's gonna go home with him.
Home, on the mantle, you name it.
On the mantle.
But look, that is the Austin Matthews shot. That was not necessarily inconsistent last year, but you knew it was affecting him. That kind of a shot, sometimes it would hit the pad.
Right.
He would be a little bit delayed. He got that off in an instant. His wrist, knock on wood, it looks to be fine right now because that was a perfect, Austin Matthews night taking advantage of that.
All right, well, I'm sure the DraftKings odds swayed back now to Toronto's way. Hey, I don't want to call anything, but I think my prediction's not looking too shabby right now.
Well, I said 4-5-1, so that's,
I was going to say,
that's already out. That's already out of it.
4-1. Yeah. I was going to say, I think Liam earlier had 5-3, I think. So that one's not looking bad.
There's a 5-2 and a 5-3, I think.
Yeah, those ones are looking pretty good, but it's still almost at the end of the second. You know what, though? We're going to have a good third period, though, coming up because it is 2-2, but you can tell the Leafs are really starting to apply a lot of pressure. And I think if you're Montreal...
Keeps going back to the fourth line here. They're the energy line.
If you're Montreal here, it just looks like, just from the way that we're watching it, they just have to survive these last 4 minutes and just get to the end of the second period here.
Revo just pushed that guy off like it was nothing.
And for those of us wondering, we do have more games tomorrow night. We are streaming a game tomorrow night. It is the Rangers and the Sabres at 7:00. We got our guy Jimmy doing the Buffalo Rangers and the Buffalo Rangers. Jesus Christ, the Rangers and the Sabres tomorrow night. It's been a long day. Okay,
I totally hear you. I totally hear you.
Oh my God. But yeah, Rangers, Sabres tomorrow night, and he's going to be doing that as Lori is checking in from Moncton. Nice. I have been to Moncton once.
Oh,
and I want to go back to Cape Breton because I loved it there. So
it was a good thing you didn't say anything because I just saw that near almost goal by Yarncroke.
Yeah. Notice how I just kind of kept the conversation going, but thank you for checking in, Lori. We appreciate it. I have been to Moncton once, though, and I want to go back because Cape Breton is kind of close by. So
I think I just passed through it one time because I took a trip out east back when I was in grade 7 or 8.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, in school or
Oh, great. Yeah. When I was still in school, grade 7 and 8. That's when I took a trip out east with my family. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a family vacation.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We actually, if you want to hear a cool story, we did the same. We went out to the East Coast. This was 20. Oh my God, this is early 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. And we took a trip out to. So yeah, we drove through New Brunswick. We went to Nova Scotia. We went to a little town called Hubbard's, right? And it's 40 minutes outside of Halifax, and there was this little cottage where whatever, you had an outdoor pool and everything was cool. And so me and my mom go to check in, right? And you're in this little log cabin, and there was this guy in front of us who was just writing this thank you note for staying there, and we weren't really paying attention. We were just walking around this little gift shop, blah, blah, blah. And he was taking so long, and we were like, dude, let's go here. Come on. Like, we're taking forever here. Turns out it was Justin Trudeau that was writing. He turns around and we're like, oh, you. Now, mind you, this is before he became prime minister or anything like that. But I was like, oh, I know who you are.
Yeah.
So now we have it framed of his of what he wrote to this little log cabin that we stayed at, and we're like, huh, neat.
That's awesome.
So that's my one story I like to kind of hang on. But yeah, it was pretty neat. So I don't know if we like Trudeau today, but whatever. He's been prime minister for how long now?
Maybe.
I know. Oh yeah, I forgot. Connor's he's a Canucks fan. As the Canucks are taking on the Oilers tonight, as we did a fantasy draft. You're in our fantasy league, right?
Don't think so. No, I'm in a separate one with like.
That's okay. We
not with the pod. No.
We got 20 teams in it this year. It sucks because there isn't a lot. Like, we could only had 20 teams. That was the max. I had the number 2 pick, and I still ended up with McDavid. Draisaitl went first.
No way.
I'm like, what?
That's a gimme right there.
I was like, okay, I'll take that. But it was amazing. Like, towards the end of the draft, like, there were, oh my God, the players we were just reaching for was just ridiculous. Like, you got to the end and you're like, there's virtually like no really good players left. You're pulling for like third liners and fourth liners now.
Well, I drafted Kent Johnson towards the end of my draft, and he was a healthy scratch.
Nice
for this game. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta pick
God,
somebody else.
I completely forget like who's on my team. I feel like I know I have McDavid though. Like, I don't have a terrible lineup, but 2 minutes left. A couple of good chances the other way. Nothing really crazy going around. I think Connor here is referring to the 10-0 win that Calgary had against Vancouver in the preseason. So, listen, it's only preseason. It could have been 20-0 and it wouldn't have mattered, but I still made fun of Dylan for that. So at least getting a good chance here. 2 minutes left here. Nothing happening yet. I don't want to speak too much because I'm letting Peter catch up a little bit. So you do that, and I'm going to quickly tell you my little because I had McDavid. I don't know how I got him second overall. It just happened. It wasn't a terrible draft. Like, it was okay. I got Sebastian Aho. I've got Gaudreau, Mark Stone, Forsberg, Moritz Seider, Rasmus Sandin, Cole Perfetti, Logan Cooley.
Come on, really?
Yeah, a couple of good guys there. And then I got Philip Gustafsson and Frederick Anderson as my goalies. So
let me pull up my fantasy
Who's
team.
your team this year?
My team, hang on a sec. My app keeps crashing on me for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if I need to do an update, but I like my team. I really do. And I initially...
And it looks hold on a second. I think there's you're going to be on the power play coming back from the break. Jake Evans is doing it. Jake Evans is going in. As RG did mention, there was a delayed penalty. There was a penalty as Jake Evans is going in for holding, and the Leafs are back on the power play. And it kind of sucks because there's like less than 2 minutes left. So they'll have a power play if it keeps going to start the third period.
So my roster is based on who's playing right now.
Okay.
McDavid,
Nice.
Lindholm, Connor, Domi, Giroux, Kempe, Heiskanen, Chychrun, Dobson, Theodore, Jarvis. I swapped Jarvis out with Kent Johnson because he was healthy scratched. And on my bench are players that aren't playing, but it's Eichel, Forsberg, Raymond, and Svechnikov on the IR.
That's a great unit.
Samsonov, Markstrom, Campbell as my goalies.
Samsonov, Markstrom, and Campbell.
I went all Canadian goaltenders.
Okay.
But see, here's the thing. I did not have McDavid. I traded. So we had a deal in place. It was going to be the 1 and 48th pick for my 3rd and 22nd. So it ended up being so we were negotiating who we wanted to pick with our first 2 picks, and then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I'm going. Who do you want here?
Right.
Pick the player as best as possible. So it ended up being McDavid and Kempe for Pasternak and Pettersson.
Okay.
I'm probably a little bit regretting it because like Pasta and Pettersson was a little bit of a
I don't know. I mean,
overplay, but at the same time, McDavid is at least guaranteed.
You're guaranteed. That's the thing.
You're guaranteed points with McDavid.
With Pettersson,
and even Kempe, you're guaranteed at least another 30 goals this season with the Kings.
Sure.
So I'm banking on that because our league is goal heavy as well.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on each fantasy league too, right? But yeah, real quick before I want to get to Connor's comment real quick. As the Leafs are going to go on the power play with 1:22 to go. I don't know what Pettersson's going to be in Vancouver this year, man. He's got to carry that team a little bit.
That's what I do. See, here's the thing. He can repeat as a 100-point player. Is he going to do it?
Jeez, it's going to be tough, man.
Yeah. I don't have that much high hopes for Vancouver this year as well. So
let's watch the last minute here, and then we'll get into the comments at the end here, as it's 1:40 left here. I got in the power play. Under a minute to go now, and I'll try my best not to spoil anything if anything happens.
That means something's going to happen.
I don't know. I really don't know. All I can tell you, it's just good pressure right now. The Leafs have a lot of good pressure going on here.
Oh, Mitchie. And that's what I like about Mitch. Like, he's shooting more when he gets those opportunities, but
and he should, right? He really should be shooting more, right? He needs to shoot more, I think.
I mean, back-to-back 30-goal seasons, that's...
he's got to... And you know what, though? He should play for a contract, too, because that's coming up as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think he's already...
There you go.
Earn that money, Willie.
Out of the way.
Earn that money.
One-timer.
Earn that contract. Let's go, baby.
Leafs score 3 straight in the second here. Gets the power play up.
Matthews jersey.
William Nylander.
We put on the jerseys at the right time.
Hey, there you go. William Nylander with the little wink as the Leafs go up 3-2. You'll see it on the replay afterwards, but he just gave like a little wink. I don't know who it was exactly too, but
I gotta see that.
Yeah, Leafs go up 3-2 now with 30 seconds as the Habs just kind of fall apart, and they just like I don't know if it was stupid penalties or.
But this is the thing that I have with the Habs too. That's gonna be a meme.
It probably
that's gonna be a meme. That's gonna be a meme right there. The Willie wink.
The Willie, yeah, there you go. Can we trademark that?
I'm gonna trademark that on Twitter right now.
William Nylander wink. I love it. Yeah, so we got 5 seconds left here. Leafs are up 3-2, and the Habs they just let them back into this. But if we know anything about opening nights between the Habs and the Leafs, is that it's never over.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. And it's never over. As it is the first intermission, the second intermission, I can tell you that now, as it is 3-2 Leafs going into the third period. So a bit of a resurgence there for the Leafs there in the second after getting down 2-0, but they weren't phased by it. Clearly, they just kept pounding away, and now they're starting to find a ways through Jake Allen. So, your thoughts on the second period? Go ahead.
Well, that coach's challenge was the turning point.
It really was.
Started with the Gregor goal. Matthews tied it up, and then Willie Nylander on the power play right there. So they're taking advantage of the power play. Started to need to do a little bit more at 5-on-5, but they're taking advantage of that power play right now. They're clicking at 50%. Perfect. 2 goals. But now you got to keep the momentum going. You got to keep the pedal to the metal, because there have been times where the Maple Leafs, sit back a bit, especially in the third period. But now I think this is going to be the perfect time. I hate to say this, but this is a good test for them early on because of how well the Canadiens played to get that lead and for the Maple Leafs to claw back. I'm not saying this is a statement game, but it definitely will help them build something going forward.
And it does give you a good chance going into this third period. They have to keep the pressure up, right? You're up 3-2 now. Don't sit back for any reason, right? Keep finding a way to get that insurance goal. As a lot of teams have been victim to it before, right? Where you find ways to get up going into the third period and you just fall back a little bit, right? So you have to find a way to keep that pressure up and keep the pressure up on them, right? So we'll see what happens. But I do want to get into Connor here real quick.
Is the Maple Leafs have been known to, playing down to their opponent, especially the weaker teams. We know that the Canadiens aren't going to be in contention for a playoff. You got to take advantage of these points too.
You got it. Just Connor did have a question below about Sam Lafferty, as he was traded to Vancouver. He is a Canucks guy, and he's just wondering what you think of Lafferty.
when we got him in that trade from the Blackhawks, I really liked Lafferty. I think he brings a lot of energy, a lot of speed, gritty, or not necessarily gritty, but he's very physical on the attack. Like, he's on the forecheck and he pressures very, very well.
Right.
He had a good preseason, but Noah Gregor had a better preseason. And that is why we traded him, because they felt that, Gregor was the better player, and it's looking like it right now. And they're kind of like the similar player, but it seems like Noah Gregor has that little bit more speed, and it's a little bit cheaper than the 1.1 cap hit than Lafferty had.
Right.
So for the Maple Leafs to trade him to get a 5th round pick later in the draft, which the Maple Leafs have known to find some pretty decent gems. I think their last 5th round pick that's playing relatively well right now is Nikita Grebyankin. I'm a big fan of his right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that pick. But you know what? To get more assets or to get something in return for him, it's good. But I still like Lafferty as a player. I think he's going to fit well in on their third line, maybe fourth, but I still see him as a very strong third line player.
Well, there you go. Cool.
Yeah.
I think this is a good time. We'll take a little bit of a break, and we'll come back for what should be a good third period.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. Let's do it. Damn it. They were like, where'd they go? I knew I was going to be late because I know the commercial's not long, and I blame Dylan. Oh my God. That's okay, though. We're back. I know I was kind of rushing last minute just because I know the commercial's only like 1 minute and 30 seconds long, but whatever. I had to do more important things. There we go. Now we're good.
All right. Probably should have gone in for a different drink, but
I honestly
water.
Listen, the commercial is about 1 minute and 35 seconds long.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not enough time.
It's not enough time.
So like next time what I should have done, we have this option where you can like loop it. And I think like it might be smarter next time to like loop it.
Yeah. I don't know. But at least give us like, 3 minutes to do something else.
I'm like 1 minute 35. I'm like, okay, wait, I gotta go to this. I gotta go to the bathroom. God damn it. There's too much going on here. As they're all just talking now, they're actually talking about the Owen Power contract extension, which we were kind of mentioning earlier because I guess they didn't have a chance to bring it up. But yeah, we were talking.
Because it happened just towards the end of intermission.
I think
I actually kind of like this new setup.
The round table that they have now. For those of us who are not Canadian and not getting the feed through Hockey Night in Canada Sportsnet, they've switched up their seating arrangements, I guess, for this season. Whether that be the case or not, but
so I'm so used to seeing David Amber host, Caroline Cameron's hosting, and I believe Jamal Mayers, Freeman, and Sam Cosentino are going to be the panelists or like the main.
Yeah. I like it. I like it too. I like the fact that Kevin BX is back for another. I think he has a contract for the next like 2 to 3 years, maybe for Sportsnet.
I didn't like how the original table last year was set because it seemed like they were too spread apart and it was on like an angle and then the camera was shifting over. But that's more like focus and centered. I think that's a better fit in terms of stage wise. That's just my production side of my brain getting into it.
The production side of it. So yeah, we're second intermission as we're now getting a. Oh, have you seen the commercial here with Morgan Riley on the TTC?
I saw that before. Yeah,
and he's on FaceTime with his dad.
I mean, imagine being like an extra, like being on that train in the commercial and just be like, "Why is Morgan Riley here?"
Literally,
yeah.
And everyone around him just like casually, like just sitting there, like not doing anything. It's a Rogers.
Speaking of weight, it's coming up right now. Yeah,
it's a Rogers commercial.
I literally just switched back because like I'm a big like horror movie fan, so I'm like watching AMC Fear Fest, and I was just coming back from Halloween, and lo and behold, it just pops up.
What's your all-time favorite horror movie?
Ooh, Shining.
The Shining. That's a good one.
The Shining. Okay. Jack Nicholson going bat crap crazy. It's just absolutely amazing.
The Shining. I can't say like I have watched horror movies back like. I don't know. I think it's funny. Like it used to be good, and then there was a period where like it wasn't good. I think mine that will always scare the shit out of me as a kid, or even like preteen, was the 2009 version of Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
that was like
that's the thing too with me. Some of the like horror movies back then were classics, and that's why like it may be bad quality, but it was scary as hell then. This time that it's more gorier. Or more gory. It's not. It's not proper like
what's the
grammar, but like it's more gory.
More gorier. Didn't they just bring out a movie? What was that at the end of September?
Saw 10.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
that's like
it went 10.
I'm surprised that it lasted this long. They just need to let it die.
I don't want to try and do any spoilers, but I think the premise is like the old Jigsaw died, but now somebody else is now Jigsaw.
Oh my god!
So it's like I don't know, but like my top horror movies are Shining. I'm a big fan of, the original Halloween, and obviously it's still scary as hell even now. But like Exorcist, Poltergeist, Pet Sematary, those are all the classics.
Those are such good classics.
Oh yeah. I will say this: the one remake that may create a lot of controversy that I still like is the Ryan Reynolds version of the Amityville Horror.
Oh, that's what my parents were saying that too.
I'm not just saying that because it's Ryan Reynolds, but
right,
he did a good job of that.
He did. I agree.
Not being that great.
Well, I think it's a good time to mention because RJ actually did say to. Please don't forget to hit the likes. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you go check out the Sticks and the Six podcast. Is there anything with you guys that are kind of happening within the next couple of weeks or so that you want to tell our viewers about?
We are getting set for season 4 of the podcast. I think we're aiming for tomorrow to record. It's been a little bit, up and down in terms of scheduling right now. Life, but at the same time we are getting back in the swing of things. We still managed to do like a lot of episodes during the season. So right now we're getting ready. Season 4 is about to start and get underway. So be sure to follow us on all the platforms for like live shows, because we do use StreamYard. We do go live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch even. So we're all set there and we're just getting ready. Perfect timing for when the season starts, actually.
Nice. That's exciting. And it's good timing. Yeah, I know, because it's technically I know it started yesterday, but like I said earlier, it's like kind of tonight too. So let's
generalize it and say opening week.
That's what I mean. Speaking of opening week, our first episode of NHL Weekly was called Opening Week. So if you guys want to check that out, it's going to be good because I know Neil's a great guy who does it too, but for when we do it every Monday at 10 o'clock. It just kind of wraps up everything that happened the week before of just hockey in general and everything that happened, throughout the week. And I know, I know the second episode will be interesting because I do want him to bring up what did happen yesterday with, right, I think it was announced maybe this morning with the NHL about the Pride hockey tape and the issues that revolved around that. So, it does bring up a lot of good talk, does bring up a lot of good issues and a lot of news that comes around. So obviously we'll talk more about Owen Power. He'll get into it, but you don't have to tune in at 10 o'clock at all. It'll post afterwards anyway, and I usually tell people to go check it out anyway. It's not long, it's only 15 to 30 minutes, and I hope people do get a chance. And who knows, maybe he'll bring on guests later this year, like Peter.
Yeah. So, for sure.
You know what, and while we are on the topic, because it did happen this morning, I did want to get your thoughts on it. As the NHL, more specifically Gary Bettman, they put in a policy now to state that players are no longer allowed to put hockey tape, obviously the Pride tape, onto their sticks. I was just curious to see like your thoughts on the decision that the NHL kind of went this way.
Yeah, it's I don't understand what the NHL does anymore. Like, it seems like when they try to do one thing, they go one step forward and then they take like 4, 5, 6, even 8 steps back. And this thing with the whole Pride tape, even the Pride jerseys too, like, right, a small fraction of the players like express they didn't want to partake in it. And that to me is very deplorable in a sense, because there's a community out there that's like getting like, abused, constantly berated every single time. And the least you could do is show some support. The fact that like maybe 7, 8 players have more of a say than the whole entire league, and the whole entire league shows more support than those 7 players. Right. To me, it's a joke. And I think the NHL, the way that they're saying is, we don't want it to be a distraction. That to me is just a little bit of a cop-out of an excuse to say that, it's taken away from what the actual meaning is. The actual meaning is to show support and show that hockey is inclusive for everyone. By you saying that you're putting a ban on it, to be honest, that's a dumb ban anyways. Exactly. Even Scott Lawton came out today. He's just like, I'm going to do it anyways. What are they going to do? Fine me for it?
If you're going to fine me $5,000 for it, fine.
But there is no rule to that, because you can't even do that, because it's still, a player's right to express themselves. That is my main thing. If you're going to punish them, then that's kind of like counterintuitive to what you want to try and do. So you know what? I think more players should step up. And even Morgan Riley said, you know what? Yeah, it sucks, but we want to do more. We're still going to do more for the community. Great. Sure. But if I'm Morgan Riley, if I'm still Scott Lawton, I want to be like one of those players that still puts the tape on and say, you know what are you going to do? Shows the most you could do is still show your support and show that hockey is for everyone, because with that, they said that hockey isn't for everyone.
It's really unfortunate that was kind of the way it went down. And for people wondering real quick, we are still in intermission for a little bit longer, so we'll keep the conversation rolling. But yeah, I think like my initial thoughts, just kind of seeing that this morning, is that, I understand that they need to do these nights that are important, right? Everybody has the nights of when they celebrate, like especially in the States where they do dedication,
military nights, and even hockey fights cancer.
Military nights, hockey fights cancer. They do those nights, and if you want to do these like these sort of nights for everybody can play hockey and everybody's involved with that, obviously with the LGBTQ and on all that. Like, if they want to do those nights, I'm more than okay with that, right? Mm-hmm. But the fact that they put the ban on this specifically with the tape is just telling me that, so what? You're basically saying that the players can't do anything anymore.
It shows you're not serious anymore.
Right. So my argument to kind of go against what they were doing is that, okay, well, what if all of a sudden they start putting more military tape on their sticks, right? What if they put more hockey fights cancer tape on their sticks? Is that bad, right? Obviously, completely different issues, but
exactly
the point that I'm getting at,
it's okay for that to happen, but it's not okay for the Pride.
Correct. Yeah. So I like, that's where I kind of stand on it. And like, I think it's important that it might be tough to say this, but I wanted to get it across that, I don't believe it needs to be shown every single night. Guys can do whatever the hell they want with it. And if that's something that they want to choose and they want to provide on their tapes and on their sticks, fantastic, right? Let them do that, right? They don't need to dedicate every single night towards this, but they're allowed to do what they need to do with it, right?
Yeah.
And it's important that they have their own decisions that they want to make, right? If they want to do it every pregame, if they don't want to do it every pregame, then that's completely up to them, right? But it is important at the same time that each team does dedicate a certain night of the season, or I don't know if it's like one night or if it's 2 nights, whatever it may be, to make sure they do support it, right? Because I think what the misconception was of last year, especially what I noticed throughout the communities, was that they all thought, there was a lot of people that thought that it was towards like specifically the LGBTQ community. And I apologize for not saying the rest because I don't know the rest of it. And I apologize. But to finish up what I'm saying is, it wasn't about that. It's about the fact that hockey is for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the one thing that's getting lost in this.
That's the whole thing that's getting lost in, is that's not the point. Hockey's for everybody. Everybody should be included. Anybody can play it, right? If you have the money for it, because hockey's stupidly expensive nowadays. But that's not the point, right? So I think, like, just to kind of finish that off, like, the important thing, like you just said, Peter, like the important thing that needs to be taken back into here is the fact that it is for everybody, and everybody should be allowed to make whatever decisions they want to make before the game and after the game and during the game. Like, they can have whatever tape they want to have on. Like, it's not going to affect anything at the end of the day. And like you said at the beginning, I think it does take a step back, and it's not the direction we want to go in, because apparently this is the no fun league in the NHL. So that's my 2 cents on it.
What was also very telling is Brian Burke's comment too, because he was the one that started the You Can Play initiative too. So it seemed like, the NHL invested in that You Can Play. You banning the Pride tape
is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous considering that you supported this, and something that was very like profound to, Brian Burke especially. And how do you think he feels? How do you think many of the other players feel that dedicate their time to make it so inclusive and safe?
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of people are saying that, like, what got me was, the Saul brothers saying that, it was their faith to say that, they didn't want to wear it. Yet Eric Stahl wore that at a previous time too. So why is it only now an issue and it wasn't an issue before? Like, it's a lot of hypocrisy at this point as well.
Well, to turn the switch a little bit, let's get back to because they just dropped the puck for us in the third period. Yeah. So I'll bring up the scoreboard again for us. I did want to mention earlier that the Bruins are now up 2-1. So after the Connor Bedard goal early on, the Bruins have seemed to kind of bounce back from it. So apparently Connor's now saying the hype for Bedard's getting a little bit ridiculous. We can kind of talk about that later in this game, depending how it goes. But yeah, apparently they're just all over Connor Bedard within the last couple of days in the last week, and I know the stick costs are pretty stupid. But we haven't really done much to start the third period here, so maybe we can get your 2 cents here real quick, Peter, on the Connor Bedard hype. Is it too much? Is it not enough? Where do we sit with that?
I mean, when you have a player this talented and exciting, it's hard not to show some hype for it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, this is going to follow him for years. Like, he's a generational talent. When you have that kind of generational, like, elite level, like, standard, kind of like, Connor Bedard. I mean, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby. Seems like if you're named Connor, you're going to be very good. But like McDavid, Crosby, and Bedard, all generational talents at this point. Now, it may be early to say that for, Bedard, but the way that he produced and the way that he like dominated every single level at such a young age, that shows generational talent level. Yeah, I can understand it may get a bit annoying, but you want to grow the game, especially in a big market in the States like Chicago. You want to cater to those players. You want to say that, Bedard is the guy.
Especially where he came from, right? Like in Saskatchewan.
Exactly. Oh. They did it with Crosby and Ovechkin in the past. You want to do the same with Bedard right now. And yeah, it may be a little bit annoying at first, but you know what? It's hard not to deny his talent. He is really special.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we're going to see more of that too this year, right? Like him scoring tonight. I think it's just we're going to see more things to come, obviously, with Bedard. Back to the game here, though. Now we've got I'm a little bit into the game. I know I'm a little bit ahead of you. Leafs had some really good pressure, or are having really good pressure right now on the Habs, and I think we kind of talked about that before the second intermission, where they need to continue up that pressure because you don't want to allow Montreal any sort of leverage going into this third period here. I think that's the important part.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. And there were a couple of chances there. Giordano found Domi in front. Domi's providing great positioning in front as well to try and, maybe find a loose puck, get a greasy goal and all that. But yeah, no, that second line, that was a great shift from the second line right there. Great shot from Minton off that one. I did probably a little bit behind as well. in regards to where we are, Klingberg.
It's amazing. Like the shots on goal now are completely blown out of the water. It seemed like just from like a period ago, like we were so dead even. All of a sudden, the Leafs just kind of took off with it. Now
That shows that extra gear that they have right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and even the offensive zone time possession, it's like it was already like pressing 10:30 for the Leafs, and the Canadiens are still like 6 minutes.
Really, that wasn't tripping. Sorry, I thought the Leafs were going to.
Did I miss a penalty? There should be a penalty.
No. I thought there was going to be a tripping call, but no, it looks like we're okay.
Okay, all right. I was about to say if it's are we already like refs being bad in the first game? Or
you know what? They've been good. I think
I've complained a little less.
But the stupid thing is that like I condemn the refs a little bit. All right. I get it. You have to make the call like as you see fit. And I know people get pissed off at the refs during the playoffs and all that, but it's like, guys, do you want to try and go do that? Do you think I could fucking do a better job than what they're doing? Like
that is true. Right? It is a tough job, but there are times where
it's a job to do, right? You get so much heat.
It's not so much the ones that like get missed. It's like the most egregious ones that happen in front.
Oh my God. Holy shit. What? I can't say what's happening. You're going to love this. Holy crap.
Now I'm scared.
All I can say is I've never seen Mark Giordano fly. Wow.
Oh, pretty.
Really good chance.
Oh, there we go.
Really good chance by, I think it was Nylander to Matthews. Good chance.
Oh my God, Gio.
Good chance in front. Scrum breaks out. Nylander loses his helmet, and Giordano like completely like flies in and jumps in on top of the other.
He did that one time last year where like Matthews was. I can't remember who it was.
It was a nice tic-tac-toe play by Nylander and it was Bertuzzi. My bad. Bertuzzi and Matthews had a nice tic-tac-toe play, and he lost his helmet. That's why
David Alter, piss and vinegar right now.
Oh my God, and they're all jumping each other, and Giordano just came out of nowhere, and he just flew on top of another guy. I love that. I couldn't have asked for anything more. That was amazing. Just him, just like
the Gio tackle.
He came in like a flying squirrel and just like guy almost. That was so funny.
Yeah, I just saw right now from David Alter. The piss and vinegar is this is what we wanted to see with the team.
You
think so? And look at that, Bertuzzi. There you go, taking it 2-on-1.
Man, so who's going to go to the box now? Let's find out. Let's see if Flash Score will update us on what's happening here. I think it'll be just some offsetting penalties, though. I don't think anything's going to really come out of it. They all just kind of got in a little skirmish here, and I don't think anybody's going to. Obviously, you got Bertuzzi in the box. I think there's a sent Bertuzzi and
Anderson. Okay, you got the Leaf killer off the ice. Okay,
yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay.
There you go. Offsetting minors.
Yeah, it makes sense. And they go.
I'm surprised Gio didn't get anything from the tackle.
I'm surprised too. Like he comes in like a bat out of hell, and it's just like, oh.
Yep.
I love it. God, I love Gio. I don't care where he plays. I love Giordano.
Oh yeah.
But the Habs will still have. I think like this feels like it's gonna be one of those games where it is gonna come down to them pulling a goalie at the end, and the Habs just kind of try to apply as much pressure that they can at the end. Peter, you might want to watch the TV. You might want to watch the TV. You might want to watch the TV.
Oh God, something happened, didn't it? Yeah. It's 4-on-4 goal. They tied it, didn't they?
Oh, it's 4-on-4? I didn't know that. Oh yeah, it is. No, it's 5-on-5.
Oh, it's 5-on-5. Ah, jeez. Oh no, wait, it was a 5. Oh, it's a power play goal.
Was it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Were the Habs on the power play?
They were on the power play. Oh, Reeves got an extra 2, or I think he served an extra penalty for Bertuzzi, maybe.
Oh. Anyway, Caulfield deflected off of Giordano, and we are now tied in Montreal as, I guess, can you scroll down maybe on...
Oh, that's a bad one. Sammy's got to have that one.
Can you scroll down on Flash Score? I'm just curious. Like, did it update the penalties there? I'm just curious to see, like, what... go to the third here. Caulfield scored. So Anderson got roughing, and Bertuzzi got slashing.
Yeah.
But Reeves got an extra 2.
He got an extra 2 for something there. That's why.
Okay, I agree with the extra 2, but I don't know if it was the right guy because I think it should have been Giordano. But
yeah,
okay, fair enough. Okay, we're good. Interesting. He got the extra 2, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, bad deflection off Giordano, and we are now tied. Look, at this point, I'm hoping we go to overtime because my favorite thing in the world now is 3-on-3 overtime.
I don't want overtime
I
because
love 3-on-3 overtime. It's the best.
at least in 3-on-3 overtime is not the best.
What do you mean?
Have you seen the game against Montreal in the preseason?
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. even last year too. I mean, sometimes 3-on-3 they're absolutely dominant, but at other times they're just very, very aggressive, and it ends up biting them.
So if you're hypothetically here, if this does go to overtime, or if this was your team and you're in Keith's shoes, right? And they go to overtime, you get to pick your 3-on-3 starting 3. Who would you pick for your 3-on-3 to start?
I mean, obviously you go with your best players. You want the best chance to win.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, it's just like sometimes there have been instances where the best players create the mistakes, but I'd rather take that chance than not have my best players out there because you pay them the big bucks for a reason.
The Habs are applying a lot of really good pressure, by the way. I know.
I just saw that was a great save by Samson off.
Yeah,
Anderson, I bet.
That's not really keeping them into this game here, and that's something that we have to be aware of.
But yeah, it's just some of the mistakes that they make in overtime that ends up costing them. That's the issue.
Well, we'll see if we go to overtime.
Yeah, no, they scored again, didn't they?
Sorry. Kirby Dach with a good chance, and all of a sudden, the Montreal Canadiens are now up 4-3. And I believe this was Alex Newhook it was tipped by Newhook. Wow. Just like that, it took 2 minutes, and the Habs were up 4-3. You know hockey's back when shit just hits the fan all of a sudden. The Leafs had all this momentum going up, 3 goals in the second period, and now the Habs all of a sudden lead 4-3 with 14 minutes to go in the third period. I'm amazed that they let them kind of get set up 5-on-5. I know, I understand, like, yes, there was the power play goal and it was a bad deflection, but even after when they tied it there, I'm amazed that they let them kind of set themselves up so comfortably in the offensive zone.
Yeah, no, that was the main thing what we talked about before too. You can't let them get back into it like that. Like I believe they had a few chances to clear that puck out. That puck has got to get out. You got to be stronger on that. You
got it. And I think too, like, you know, I think what's funny is that all of a sudden you take that Matthews line out, and what might be something to watch, especially look, it's only game 1, right? Like, obviously we're getting a great game tonight, but what I'm curious to watch as the season progresses, especially with the Leafs, is the fact that how is this bottom 6 really going to compare with a lot of the other teams' bottom 6, with some of the guys being rookies and other guys being grinders, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see how that plays out. I say that because you look at the Kraken, for example, right? In my opinion, I think they're a very good team when it comes to flowing through lines 1 through 4. Maybe they're not the most pretty looking team when it comes to the first line, but if you go through that entire lineup, all of a sudden it's a really nice looking team on the third line and fourth line. So I think a lot of pressure is going to be put on some of these rookies, especially Matthew Nyes, and if Minton can continue to progress into this lineup. And we'll kind of see what those grinders can kind of do on the fourth line with guys like Ryan Reeves, for example. But a lot of it, I think, is going to come down to the bottom 6 again. And I don't think that's something that you want, especially when we get closer to the end of the season, closer to the trade deadline. And all of a sudden, when the playoffs come, do you really want to have to rely again on your star players to be the stars, right? Yeah. And I think at some point you have to, but you also don't want to rely again on your bottom 6 to try to save this again.
No, for sure. No, I could not agree with you more. Again, just looking back on this right now too, like, this is the one thing that they did not want to do. And I don't know why they weren't motivated after that, penalty or that scrum.
Right.
I would have been a little bit more motivated after that, and they just did not have anything at all. Like, well, I'm a little bit shocked, to be honest.
No, fair enough. So it is Alex Newhook's second of the game, actually. I think we forgot that he actually scored earlier on in the game. So Yeah, so it's Alex Newhook's second of the game. Quick update for everybody. It was a 5-on-4 penalty. I didn't mean to click that, but RJ actually mentioned earlier. Appreciate that he's mentioning some of these other score lines too, as well as the Hurricanes are up 3-1 on that side of things. But yeah, it's man, I can't believe. I didn't realize Newhook had 2 goals. Also, it's worth noting that Kirby Dach just had his second assist tonight as well too. So Kirby Dach has been very underrated, I would want to say. But as Zarbian said from the Leafs, and it's more bullshit.
Yeah, dude, I'm basically saying the same thing myself. What the hell is going on right now?
Oh man, we got to do more of these this year, man. This is great. I love these.
Well, I just saw a tweet from Mike Stevens. He's like, praying for all the Ilya Samsonov fantasy owners.
But I don't even think it's Samsonov. I don't blame him on
maybe on that Geo one, because he probably should have been a little bit more aware of how that was going to pan out on the Caulfield goal.
Fair. Okay.
That one, that's a good clearing attempt, or a clearing attempt that has to go out. So
sure. Can you go down? Actually, scroll down real quick when you get a chance. On I'm just curious. Did anybody have the assist on Caulfield's goal, or no? Was it just him? Third period. Keep going.
Matheson and Suzuki.
Oh, there you go. Matheson and Suzuki. Wow. Okay. And then Doc had another one. So it was power play. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I just wanted to see. Okay. Interesting. Man, you know what's funny is when we were talking about our season previews earlier on in August, and everybody kept putting Montreal at the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to surprise me if this team's not last place in the Atlantic this year.
That's the thing too. Like they can fight. It's just that
they're a scrappy team, man.
Yeah, they're a team that, again, could make some noise, but based on how other teams made moves in the offseason or how deep they are, they just seem to be at the bottom. But may play out differently. Who knows?
I mean, obviously it's game one, and we're seeing they always play good. You find like opening nights anyway against the Leafs, but man, just kind of what I'm seeing, like this is a good. I happen to like the Habs like top 6 a little bit. Like if Slavkovsky can find a way to get his footing going, right? Like I do happen to like what the Habs have to offer, but obviously longevity is a big thing in this league. It's a long season, as we all know, but Jesus Christ, what a hit. I don't know who that was, but he just laid him flat. Habs guy and a Leafs guy. I couldn't remember who it was, but the Leafs are applying a lot of pressure here with 12 minutes to go, as they should. They have their top unit out, and they've been in the offensive zone for, I think, almost 30 seconds now. Applying a lot of pressure here, though, which is good. Obviously, you want that from
the top line. So
it's your top line. They need to do it.
It looks like Matheson and Marner.
Yeah, shots are 31-16 for the in favor of the Leafs. But again, you know what's funny is you look back now on it and go, okay, well the Habs now have all of a sudden 4 goals on.
See, here's the thing too. I don't know where Marner is passing to some of those, because there isn't a good passing lane there. Hold it, see what you have. He's just trying to get the puck off very, very quick, and he gets possession of it, but ends up in nothing.
Man, do you think this is going to be a really big year for Marner? Is he? Sorry, let me rephrase that. Does it need to be a big year for Marner in terms of maybe playing for another contract? Is in terms of like maybe just elevating like his game a little more in the sense that he can kind of prove himself more to being a top 10, top 5 player?
Not really. I think he's already solidified that himself.
Fair enough.
Back-to-back 99-point seasons where he could have had 100. That to me, you're already like, it's very hard to do that. But I really don't. I think he's already cemented himself, and not only that, I think he was a finalist for the Selke as well.
Right.
So he's already getting nominated for awards. I think he's already cemented himself as one of those players that is already elite in this level. Maybe not top 10, but he's definitely top 15.
Two things that I wanted to bring up, because you might see the stat here in a second, because I know you're a little bit behind. But the Habs are, I think it was like 55% of the faceoffs they've won tonight. So they've been controlling the dot pretty good tonight. And I think that's one of the reasons why they were able to come back a little bit here in this third period, winning key draws with that power play going. And then obviously when they stayed into the offensive zone there on that 4th goal, right? Like big draws now all of a sudden coming in for the Habs, and I think it's important that the offensive draws have come to importance for these guys as we're kind of nearing the end of the first halfway mark here in the third.
Yeah, draws are important. They're taking advantage of that. I mean, it's kind of odd to say that because Tavares is really good in the dot. Matthews, David Kampf as well, but little again. It's the first game, but it's still something that shouldn't be happening considering how well the Maple Leafs are at the middle.
And the other thing I forgot to mention or ask you was, now that, because you mentioned Samsonov, right? And all of a sudden, okay, it's 4 goals. It was 4 goals on 16 shots. Now it's at 19. If this is a trend that we're going to start to see as the season goes on, and if Samsonov can't find his footing, and if Joseph Woll, I know he had a really good playoff, with the Leafs when he had to come in when he did. Does this team need to go out and find a goaltender at the deadline if this is the trend that it's going to keep going as?
Well, that's also why they signed Martin Jones to have some reassurance.
Not
that he's the answer, but
he
did look good in the preseason. He got sent down. He cleared waivers, so he's still with the Marlies or with the Maple Leafs organization. So if he's able to get called up, play 10 games, I think the rule is he may not require waivers to go back down if he plays in 10 games.
Yeah.
So
I thought he was claimed, but anyway.
No, he cleared. He cleared. Because I think the main thing was he was due for $100,000 bonus, and teams would have to pay that, and teams were warded off by that, which is a smart move by the Maple Leafs. But if they're able to call him up and he has the games that he played well in during the preseason, you're probably looking at maybe Jones and Samsonov, or maybe even Wall getting sent back down, but he requires waivers. So you risk losing him as well.
Okay.
So you're in an even more difficult spot right now, because if Jones plays well, you have to essentially move Wall down. You're probably going to lose him.
If he goes to waivers, you're going to lose him for sure.
Yeah, 100%. That's why they didn't do that. And that makes it a little bit more difficult if that is the case. And I want to be optimistic. I have been optimistic because if there was a low where Samsonov hasn't played well last season, he was able to get out of that funk. So if he's able to channel that whole, if he's able to get dialed in mentally and put everything behind him, I think he'll be great. But
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Not what we want to see from the starter at this point. But
I wanted to get to a question here Keenan had. How many goals do you think Caulfield's going to score this year?
I mean, 30 easily, but I think he could probably score 30 easily. Ooh. I mean, he was already at 26 last year before he got injured.
I mean, he's got 2 goals tonight, doesn't he?
I think he's got one. One got removed. Yeah.
Evan and then Caulfield. Yeah, right. You're right.
I think 30, 40 is also in the realm of possibility as well.
I think if we're going to give an exact number here, I think he has a good year. I agree. I think he's probably going to be 33 goals, I think, is probably what I'm going to guess. Look, he just signed a big deal too with Montreal. He's there for a long time. And I think now that he's locked down long term, there's nothing he has to worry about anymore when it comes to money and, keeping a contract for whatever reason. He can just go out and play hockey. And, he's a guy, I think, too, if for whatever reason, if the Habs find their way into the playoffs for some reason, for some miraculous reason, he's a guy that you want. And it was proven all the way back in 2020, right, when he was just lighting the lamp for this team and he had no worry in the world. And that's the thing. If this kid just doesn't worry about, obviously he's got locked down 8 years now. I think it's an 8-year contract with the Habs now, and he's there long term regardless. He doesn't have to worry about playing for a contract anymore. He can now just go play, and I think he's going to have. I think he's going to have a good year. So I agree. I think he's probably going to be around the 30-goal mark as well. Woo. All right, we got 9 minutes and 30. I got around 9 minutes and 30 seconds. You probably have 10 minutes left in the game.
I'm just coming back from commercial.
Beautiful.
9:50.
There will be a time this year, I swear, where we'll get the correct.
We'll be in sync. Yeah,
you got it. Yeah, I'm with. Well, who do you got? I got Bell.
I'm with Rogers, so.
Okay.
That's why.
It's all Rogers' fault.
Not wrong.
Well, Rogers isn't my go-to. Let's just say that. Even Bell's not my go-to, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think no matter where you go, you're technically screwed. So
yeah, it's true. There we go. Okay. 8:53 shots are 33-20 again. Oh, that could have been a tripping call, maybe, but not. A couple of calls that seem a little phantom tonight that just haven't been called.
but I'm kind of glad they're not calling the phantom ones because
Let
those
them
are
play.
very.
But you have to let them play.
Yeah.
Right? I get wanting them to play it out a little bit, so I'm glad.
Like too many times where it's a phantom call and it's like, well, you call that, but you don't call that, and that's the same thing. Like if you're going to set the
100%.
standard, call everything, even the phantom ones. Oh, that went on Matthews, I guess. So
You got it. Yeah. Okay, 8:30 to go. What needs to change here? How do the Leafs find their way back as they're one goal down? What do they need to do?
don't play like they did in the stretch of 2 minutes that led to the 2
the
goals.
Don't do what you did.
Don't do what you did before. That's self-explanatory. But yeah, no, they gotta kick it into high gear now. There's no other way to describe it. I mean, they gotta force another goal. You had the lead, you lost it. Now you got to bounce back, and again, teams that are supposed to be not necessarily inferior opponents, but lower, that are going to be lower in the standings, got to take advantage of that because now these are easy points, and the Atlantic Division is going to be a dogfight this year. So you got to take advantage of every game.
Right. Are you worried about the other Atlantic teams in the division this year more if you can't find a way to beat even a team like Montreal?
Absolutely. Because if you lose a point and they win, that doesn't create a whole lot of separation between you and your opponent. I think that they need to take advantage. Oh God.
And the Montreal Canadiens all of a sudden find themselves up 5-3.
Who did that?
Given away. It might have been TJ Brody again as Yolanen. I think that's how you pronounce it. No, it was Timothy Liljegren, who coughed up the puck. Morgan Riley tried to get there, but he couldn't. And Yolanen now all of a sudden makes it a 5-3 game. And now 8 minutes left to go, and it's starting to look a little grim as we now have 5 goals on 20 shots. And that time there again, like, I'm not going to blame Samsonov for that, right? More or less I'm blaming it on the defenseman here with Liljegren and early on with TJ Brody, but yeah, that's not pretty. And I think Pierre's going far.
I'm gonna just ignore that. Not joking.
Okay.
Go to right. Are people even leaving? Oh my God, people are leaving.
I'm honestly not surprised. I'm really not surprised.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed by Liljegren there because that's an easy clearing attempt. Again, clearing attempt right there. Domi on the fourth one, Liljegren right there. Those are simple mistakes that cannot happen. You
can't, and it's too many. It's twice that happened already tonight, where he loses the puck obviously in their own zone, giveaway, booms, and they pot it in right away, right? Like you can't. Those are simple things that you just can't let happen, and hopefully that doesn't become a trend this season for these guys too, right?
Well, now when we talked about, they got to look for a defense. If Liljegren is not capable of taking advantage of a spot right now, that's another defenseman that you got to look for right now.
Exactly. Angus is back. Angus has always been a good member to come on. He's always been, I think he was on with us a lot during the playoffs last year. So we're doing great tonight. And hopefully you're catching us watching the end of this Leafs Habs game, 5-3 Montreal with 5 minutes to go.
Oh, wow. Willie.
Also, Peter, Angus, Peter. In case you haven't.
How's it going, Angus? I could be better. How about that?
Listen, you know what? It's like I say, like it's one game.
It is one game, but again, you want to the way that Keith said, you want to set the tone.
Sure, I agree.
Not set the tone. You did, but you lost it, and you could not put your way back.
And what might be something you might all look forward to this season is that it's about winning battles, and sometimes it's about winning periods too. And I think that's evident tonight because Montreal clearly won the first period. The Leafs won the second period. Habs are winning the third period, right? And sometimes
they're taking advantage of the Leafs' mistakes.
And I think that's sometimes what it might come down to. As Joanne says, good day. So hello. I hope you're watching the game as well. We got about 5 minutes left in the game here, but we'll see what happens. The Leafs still have time here. But yeah, I don't know what you think about that, Pierre. I just think it comes down to sometimes just battles where it comes to, they won the period, right? Sometimes it's about winning periods, right? If you win 2 of the 3 periods, most likely you're going to find yourselves winning the games, right? So I don't know if it's obviously not the case all the time, right? Where you can win the first 2 periods and obviously lose the third, go overtime and lose it. But, I find it's about trying to find winning the battles, right? Especially in this long war of a game. Just what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, it definitely comes down to that. It's definitely it's basically who wants it more. And, the Habs have shown that they want it more in this third period. And again, the Maple Leafs, aside from like the first 2-3 minutes, the Maple Leafs looked very tentative, and that does not spell a team that is in it to win it or doing everything they can. So yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I'd just be repeating what you said, so I'm just gonna
fair enough,
because that is a big difference maker.
Yeah. Angus being a supporter of the Blues as they're looking to continue the rebuilding process, and maybe that was a team that I think we didn't really mention when we were asked earlier about a team that could kind of finish maybe at the bottom of the barrel. Maybe it might surprise a lot of people to say that. I don't know. The Blues could probably finish down there as well. I don't know.
Not necessarily bottom of the barrel, but I think they'll be like in that lottery, but like in the 11, 12.
Where they kind of were last year.
I think that may be the best case scenario, and especially if Jordan Binnington plays bad.
Especially like they brought in Kevin Hayes, and I don't know if that's going to be enough to do the damage, right? Because I think there's just a lot of teams that clearly have gotten better, especially throughout the offseason. As
not only that, Torrey Krug is injured to start the season too, so that's a big loss.
And that doesn't help too, right? 5-3 Montreal, I have 5:47 left in the game here as the Leafs still have outshot them 34-20, but it's come down to really this defense tonight that has just not been able to come through for this team.
Again, I think there's probably going to be a lot of blame on Samsonov because you do need your goalie to make a save, but at the same time, like the Maple Leafs defense does look lost.
They do a little bit. Yeah. We have to switch up the pairings a little bit now.
And that was a big question heading in. Is this defense capable? Like, what are you going to do now? Because Brody and Liljegren have not looked great.
Right.
I was going to give Brody the benefit of the doubt, but there were times where he wasn't as sharp as well. That was, Mitch, come on. You got to be ready for that.
Yeah. Even Mitch hasn't been on his point tonight. Actually, a guy who's been quiet that we haven't said a lot of tonight, like his name, has been Max Domi.
Yeah. It seems like Nylander and Tavares have been more noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's just not necessarily just standing around, but he's open, but nothing's coming towards him. He's trying to let the play come towards him. He's got to go towards it.
Jeez. No, I agree. But I know, again, I know it's the first game of the year. Mm-hmm. Is it concerning what you're seeing from this defense tonight?
If this was still a trend, like in the next few weeks, yeah.
Okay.
I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt, but you can't look at this game and say like, okay, I know Sheldon Keefe is probably going to say, you know what, let's burn the tape. Let's look tomorrow. But this is something that you can't.
No.
Considering how coming in your pre-game comments, you said that you wanted it last year to be a teaching moment for the opening game.
For sure.
And still a lesson hasn't been learned. And that's going to be the big thing. Can they learn their lesson from game to game? And Samsonov is getting pulled right now.
Yep. So now they're emptying. I like the call, emptying the net with about 5 minutes to go here.
Mm-hmm.
Peter, this is not over yet.
Are we? Oh, filthy!
Just right under Allen. I think that was Matthews, if I'm not correct.
That was Matthews.
It was Matthews, yeah.
301.
He just snuck that underneath, and Allen didn't even flinch. He didn't even see it. So, all right, we got a game. It's not over yet.
I'm not sure if he was thinking pass or he just faked it.
He faked it completely, and Allen he didn't even move.
He baited that
at all, right? So, 5-4, 4:32 to go. We'll watch the end of this real quick because it is getting close as the Habs are up by 1. I answer Connor's question real quick because he did ask like who we think is going to have a resurgence. He has the Red Wings. I'll kind of say like let's stick with the Atlantic/Eastern Conference here when he's kind of asking the question because I think we answered it earlier mainly with San Jose, but I think Buffalo's going to have the best season out of the bottom half teams from last year. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, Buffalo and Ottawa, definitely. Correct. Yeah, we're going to see some movement, especially with teams like Boston. I think that either or are going to make a big push.
Nice. And for Angus wondering, you are from Toronto.
Unfortunately.
Now, okay, because I know the area as well, you're not like in Toronto. Clearly there's suburbs.
Oh, yeah. No offense, you would not catch me living in downtown.
No.
Never.
Golf course that we played a lot during the summer, quite a bit, during the summer, where it was like TPC Toronto, and this course was like an hour outside of Toronto, and it's like, we're not even close to Toronto.
It's like you think of GTA because it's like
exactly.
It's like stupid. Oh, Phil. Oh no. Oh dear God.
Habs as
my heart almost stopped there.
At the outside post. Wow. Was that Josh Anderson had the shot, and it looks like it was Suzuki who hit the post. As we have 3:30 to go, and Peter, we're getting a good ending here. They pull the goalie again? Dude, you got 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Relax.
It worked.
So they dump the puck. Habs are pressuring a little bit, but I don't get why are you – no, it's too early, man. No way. You got 3 minutes.
This is gutsy.
I hate it. No, you got to wait at least a minute, one more minute. Around the 2 minute mark, I can understand, but this is a little early. I understand that it worked beforehand, but I don't know. I don't like the amount of time. A lot of pressure here. I have under 3 minutes to go now.
3:10.
Yep, you have 3:10. Okay, well, we're not that far off. I don't like the decision that they pulled it so early, though.
Yeah.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm not going to forget that.
I think they waited till like the 2 minute mark.
Yeah, at least closer to that. I don't like that at all.
Given how quick you were able to respond last time, right. I think maybe it was something you could look to.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So who's their extra man? Who comes out for Toronto as their extra? I'm assuming
it's two defensemen, Klingberg, Riley.
Riley, thank you.
It's basically the power play plus Riley.
Got it. See, but the problem I don't like is the fact that, okay, you got these guys out at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So what, you're going to keep your whole top unit out for the entire 3 minutes?
No, I think you would change it up, but it's something that you got to because now you're probably going to have to deal with the change right now.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
And you have no ice.
Shots are still 36-21 Toronto as they're trying to find their way back. They're 1 goal down here, 5-4 with under 2 minutes to go now. A lot of pressure on Jake Allen, but he's seen the puck so good tonight. As I can tell you right now, he did freeze the puck with 1:34 to go. So I'm just telling you that just because.
I'm he's way behind all the pressure there. Yeah. Collapsing down low, trying to get that puck.
Just to let other people know, the Hurricanes are currently up 5-3 right now on Ottawa, and the Bruins are still up 2-1 on the Connor Bedard Blackhawks. I think it's worth saying that because that's all it's been. So, okay. So
Bruins -1 and
okay, cool. Leafs call timeout. If you're the guy with the clipboard, right? What are you kind of scheming here? You got 1:23 to go here. You got a little bit of time left to try to put pressure on, to put a lot of pressure on Jake Allen. My thing is that you want to have somebody sit in front of the net. Whether it be, honestly, I would have somebody, not necessarily Ryan Reeves, but have somebody try to sit in front of the net, and let other guys do the work around him, right? So I don't know if that's the direction they're going to go, but you need to make sure Jake Allen can't see any of these shots coming up.
I would want to try Matthew Nyes because he's been big in game-breaking situations, and like he was in the postseason.
And it looks like Matthew Nyes will be off the ice. He's not going to be on the ice with 1:34 to go.
See, they got all these plans set up. They know what to do. They know what to look for. This is all like X's and O's. This is all like execution right now. So,
Sorry, I just had to read that from Joanne. That's awesome. Sorry, keep going as they're about to drop the puck here. And before you do, I wanted to note that you'll see the giveaway stat. The Leafs have given away the puck 12 times tonight.
Yeah, that is if you were giving it up that many times, that's a recipe for disaster, especially in the neutral zone too.
Yeah,
see that quite a bit.
Honestly, I'm so happy we have a good game tonight, though. 5-4, under 2 minutes to go. This is great. It's a
1-goal game.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't like that before, and then the Maple Leafs put themselves in this position.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, great save. Great save at the line by
So they did stick a lot of guys still out. They're still out for, they didn't include Nyes, obviously, but they still have their top unit.
Yeah.
Thank God you're
Willie.
Thank God don't look at the scoreboard.
Let's go, Hatch!
We are all tied up. Matthews
jersey coming up clutch.
As soon as Nylander passed that to Matthews and he took that step back and Allen just kind of flinched on it too quick, you knew that was going in the back of the net real quick as Matthews ties it. And it was his third goal, correct?
Third goal
tonight as Matthews ties it. And we are all tied up at 5. We are not done yet, folks. What a game. Let's go. What a game. Yeah, see.
Is he going to hit them with the 4?
I don't blame Allen for that. I just think he pinched a little too quick, and Matthews knew that he was going to come out. So all he had to do was just go, wait a second, come out, and then right in. And it was very smart for Matthews to do that because, I don't blame Allen for doing that, but, he kind of saw that coming.
I'm going to say this. I was not one of those fans chanting D1 Florida.
There he goes.
I'm just going to say that right now. But ask me again when it's like playoff time.
Okay. So we are all tied up 5-5. What a night. What a game.
This is
why we miss hockey.
This is why we miss hockey.
But hey, we got a great game tonight. As Angus says, hey, let's slam the like button a little bit. Let's subscribe a little bit more. And guess what? If you guys like this, we'll do more Leaf games this year if I even have to show up for this fucking team. As we're all tied at 5. Shots are 39-21 with 1:07 to go. As it looks like overtime, I might be getting my wish as overtime is going to be looming. I won't say anything yet. As will they go off the ice? It's been
no. They just do a dry sweep and then they stay on. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye.
Look at that! Look at that face. He's into it.
Good.
Now, can everybody else
get into it? 1:07 to go.
Or can at least the defense play subpar defense that could just get you a win?
Even that too.
I hope he hits him with the 4.
Can you imagine?
I hope he did it to Ottawa. I hope he does it to Montreal.
Can you imagine? So
you know what's funny? Bedard literally said, everyone's asking, have you looked at other top prospects or top number 1 picks first games? He's just like, I'm not gonna probably score 4 goals. They already did it like that. Matthews did. Right. McDavid had a big game. Matthews is probably going to do that, not even as a rookie.
I don't think it would surprise me if this goes to overtime and he ends up scoring. I don't think it surprises me at all. If you could show up for a Canucks Flames game, then he could show up for Leafs game. I've been showing up for Leafs games my whole life. I'm getting sick. But I am actually I'm on a work trip at the end of October, and I'm actually meeting Dylan for a Canucks game at the end of October. So
there you go.
They're playing the Blues. So nothing exciting, but it'll be nice. Okay, so we got 30 seconds left here. I'm going to keep an eye on the time here because I will do one more commercial break when the third period is over, because I just wanted to ask, just because I didn't know if they were going to go into the locker rooms. I know they do that for playoffs. I think that's because why I was so used to it. But
20 is because of that 20-minute.
No, it makes sense that they stay on. I think I just kind of forgot about that. As 10 seconds left here in the third. I'll let you know though if anything happens. I don't think anything's coming up. Out of it. Jeez. And there is not. Okay, so the Habs did have a shot late in that little third period there, but nothing comes of it. We are going to overtime. Let's take a very quick commercial break, and we'll come back for overtime. How's that sound?
Beautiful.
Okay, beautiful. We'll be right back. into overtime. I think they're just going to start to do the puck drop. That was perfect timing, actually. You know what's funny is Angus did mention that I've seen it before when guys do live streams in the past that they have their own scoreboard and they're able to like edit it in while the game is playing.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't we just do that? Like, that's
what would be fun.
If we have it like at the top here and you can do it yourself. So I'm going to look into that. So I'm glad that as we are starting overtime here, as I believe David Camp was trying to win the draw here. He had Camp out for the draw, and he has Marner, and I believe it is, I don't know who, no, Brody?
So they do this they did this quite often where they put Camp out to win the draw, and then he swaps out for Matthews right away.
Got it. Okay. I won't say too much in case anything happens, and I'll let you kind of watch it, but the Leafs are pressing.
There you go. Get the puck. Camp goes off, and then Austin comes on.
Yep.
Again, you're probably way ahead of me. So
no, I'm not that. I don't think I'm not that far ahead of you. They're still pressing. I know. I feel like I shouldn't say too much now, just because
it is overtime.
I don't want to ruin anything, obviously, because I don't want to say too much. But you saw the Habs probably got it out at this point. They're probably hanging around the neutral zone for a little bit. A little bit back and forth. Not a lot of big shots happening right now. Shots are 40-22 for the Leafs right now. They were just doing some line changes as well about 20 seconds ago, Peter. So nothing crazy happening. Marner's still out there.
Come out into the...
Yep, you'll come to a point where Marner is still out on the ice. He's still out there for probably about 1 minute and 20 seconds. As I imagine he'll probably go for a change soon, as I am almost hitting the 3 minute and 30 second mark. But I mean, again, to say like what a game it's been tonight, and thank everybody for coming on tonight. I know it's opening night, but we really do appreciate it. As shots are still 41-22 now. Leafs getting more pressure now, and you probably saw the pad save there,
Riley.
Yeah, you saw that. Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay, I tried. Yeah, Matthews tried to hit him with the 4.
Right. I was close.
Matthews hit him with the 4.
It is Austin hat trick Matthews, absolutely.
Oh Willie.
I can't believe he already has 3 goals and we're 1 game into the season. I think that's going to tell you though, like what the season might be like. But I'm sorry.
Like, he's back. He is back.
Yeah, he's never left.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh my god, I got under 3 minutes left now. It's still 5-5. Leafs pressing again.
3:05.
Oh yeah, you're not that far behind.
Oh wow, the sweet connection. Klingberg, Nylander, Yarncroke.
Jesus Christ, man, it's not over yet. I'm sorry, Jake Allen just made a ridiculous save. I had to say that. Unbelievable save by Jake Allen. 2:22 to go. Really good
bars. Oh wow, yeah, that paddle save.
Really good shots going back and forth here.
There we go. Oh, was that Domi? No, that was nice. Oh,
yeah, Nye's getting a good shot on there. We got
good pairing right there.
For the Habs, you got Sean Monahan, Kirby Dach, and I believe that's Mike Matheson on the back end there with Tavares, and I think Matthew Nyes is still out there. He is with Morgan Riley as well. Those are the guys that are still on the ice, and it's not over yet, but you're not going to like what you're going to see.
Oh, God.
It's not over. Like, the game's not over, but you're not going to like what's coming up. That's not great.
Ooh.
Let me know when you see it. Not a lot of talking happening, but that's okay. Well, until Peter sees it, it's 5-3 Carolina over Ottawa, the final. Wow, Carolina 42-30 on shots. Thank you for that, RJ.
Yeah. Okay,
you saw that now?
It's probably going to be over.
Well, so delayed penalty coming. It's a bad trip. Matthew Nyes just took Kirby Dach right into the boards, and the Habs go on a 4-on-3 power play with just over 2 minutes to go, I think. It's a bad trip, and Nyes knows it too, as we got 1:47 left in overtime. So the Habs will be on the power play.
Rookie mistake, but he could have ended it right there.
Yeah, it was a good chance for Nyes, though, on Allen. It was a good pad save, though. I got to give him credit. As it'll be Dach, Caulfield. I imagine Monahan's going to go for the draw, and I think Suzuki or Matheson are going to be out there for the Habs.
I guarantee.
I don't love Giordano being on the ice here for a penalty kill. I don't know about you, but that's just me.
like to get in the lanes and block the shots, you really don't have a whole lot. I think him and McCabe
Yeah.
deep.
So any hope for the Leafs tonight might be coming through a shootout, or for some reason there is a shorthanded goal tonight. So it is Nick Suzuki out there with Monahan, Cole Caulfield, and Kirby Dach. The 4 forwards are out there as the Habs are going to be on the power play. Excuse me, for the rest of the game. Yep.
Yeah.
Not good. All right.
Jeez.
I did not predict it being a 5-5 game. I don't think anybody had this in their books.
Nope.
But I can tell you, Peter, the Leafs are doing a great job of killing off the penalty right now. They're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah. Win the draw, play with it, get it out.
You're just hoping for a shootout at this point if you're a Leaf fan, Peter.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, my God. Hey, we got 60 people in the chat. Thank you guys again for coming.
60. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
they're literally coming in to see
us. What's funny is, like, when we did Leafs games last year, like when we did streams, didn't do that well, but I appreciate you guys coming out as we got a minute 10 left here in the power play.
They're coming in at the best time.
You got it. Under a minute to go here in overtime as the Habs are still pressing here, and Samsonov makes a really good save, and it does freeze the puck with 49 seconds to go. I will try not to spoil too much more, Peter, but I apologize. It's kind of hard, okay?
I totally get it. I don't know why I'm so delayed, because this even happened during the playoffs too, so.
Yeah, that's so weird. I thought we would have been on sync tonight too, which is, I was kind of looking forward to it because Neil, like whenever I did streams with him, like he was always ahead of me, right? It was stupid. Puck drops again. Habs are just pressing again. They're getting a lot of chances here in their zone as Samsonov's really standing on his head at this point.
I love that they're taking away every single angle, though.
Yep. And amazingly, the Leaf fans are still in the crowd, Peter. Nobody's left yet. Well, I know
I don't know. For some reason, at the other end, it looked
some of them left earlier. It was 3, and I'm like,
it looks pretty empty. And on the Leafs end.
That's right. We got 20 seconds left here in the game. Still 5-5 with 30 seconds left on the power play, but it won't matter as the Habs are still trying to find a way to end this game here before this goes to a shootout. Peter, I can tell you, like, there's 10 seconds left here. Don't worry about it. Nothing going on. Trying to get a shot in, and they will not. We are going to a shootout, Peter. It looks like puck goes out of bounds. Or out of bounds. Puck goes out of play with 0.5 seconds left in overtime, which means we are going to overtime. But good for the Leafs. I mean, there you go. You killed the power play, did what you needed to do. I thought the defense actually stood up there very well. Liljegren actually played well blocking shots, and for what Giordano's was worth, I thought I'm surprised that the Habs didn't really get a lot of good quality chances, though, to be honest. I know Caulfield's probably kicking himself a little bit. They're going to do a puck drop here, but it's not.
But that's good for the Maple Leafs. At least this is probably the most structured defense we've seen all game.
You got it.
In overtime.
So we got – okay, so now it's done. Okay, we go to a shootout here. What's the lineup going to look like here for the Leafs in the shootout? For the Habs, I imagine you're going to get Suzuki, Caulfield, and maybe throw in Kirby Dach. I imagine the forwards are probably going to get a chance, but you can tell us maybe who the Leafs will throw out there.
See, I'm just gonna throw this on a dime. Obviously, you're gonna throw out Matthews as to start. Nylander, and I want to say Matthew Knies. I want to say with his shot, he can still get it out at like around the middle area of the circles or like the hash marks. Don't know if he'll go to him, but yeah, I could guarantee Matthews, Nylander, and I want to say maybe if not him, you're probably going to go to Morgan Riley because he's got hands.
Yeah, okay, I like Riley too. So it looks like Knies is on the ice, and I think he will get a chance. He looks like he might be the first guy to go tonight. I don't know who's going to go first tonight. Do we know, like, how does that work? Like, who goes first? Like, did we?
I think they just decide they send their lineup in, and I think it's
like before the game starts.
Yeah, no, not before the game starts. Before the shootout starts, I think they pencil in who's going in.
Right. Okay. Got it. That makes sense. This is speaking from a guy who's watched hockey for a long time. I don't know. It's like, how do they know? Like, that's such an old man question. Connor thought of a recent game where the Canucks were 3-on-5 against the Anaheim, and somehow they didn't get a single shot. Well, sometimes blocking shots comes key.
Yeah.
As it looks like, I can tell you William Nylander is first tonight, as the Leafs do go first.
Please tell me that
I won't say anything. I think what we should do actually is I'm going to get rid of the scoreboard because that's going to ruin it.
Yeah. If you want to stop sharing this, do you want me to stop sharing? Like, just cancel the scoreboard? Yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out just because it does spoil it a little bit. So let's leave it. So Nylander went first. I'm not going to say anything. And then Suzuki is now second for Montreal.
Save.
Yeah, it was a good save for Allen. I mean, he pushed back into his crease. He just patiently waited out Nylander, and it was a good save.
Already like got him out of position. He should have just gone to or not. He couldn't even go to the backhand. He was too far out.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, Nick Suzuki, that was one of the worst shootout attempts I've seen in a long time.
Okay, so now I feel a little bit better. I was actually a little bit nervous because he's got hands.
It was really bad. You'll see it in a second. Austin Matthews will be shooting second for the Leafs here.
Oof.
So bad. Like Suzuki, so bad.
That's rough. Oh, you can even tell that he was mad.
Yeah, like you knew too. You can't lose that. So
Matthews, just say oof. That's it.
Oof. As Matthews was the second shooter, and now Caulfield will be the second shooter for Montreal. You'll probably see Matthews in a second here. As
that would have been number 4.
Good save. I mean, Jake Allen didn't really move too much, and he kind of just stood his ground a little bit there.
Yeah.
So they have Caulfield now going second now, and I can confirm that it was not a goal. I'll just tell you that right now.
Okay, good.
He did miss it. I think it was.
It wasn't as bad as Suzuki's.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little off and wide, and it looks like Marner's gonna. No, wait, is it Marner? Yeah, it's Marner now getting a chance here as we are now entering sudden death here in the shootout.
If he gets this, they have a chance to win.
Yep. Well, it's sudden death now, right? So it doesn't really matter.
Off the bar too. Oof, that was close.
Yeah. Did you just see or no?
No, I just saw the Caulfield.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, Kirby Dach will be third to shoot tonight.
Oh, filthy. Let's go.
It was a gross goal. Marner scores now. That puts Kirby Dach in a chance to try and continue the shootout, and he does not. Game over. Sorry, I have to tell you.
I don't care.
Game over. Leafs win 6-5. There you go. Kirby Dach pad save there by Jake Allen, and that's it. There you go. Leafs win
in the opener.
Win.
Nail biter.
Win out of it too, and that's it. It was a good save for Samsonov as he kind of bounces back, but overall a good game tonight. Ryan Reeves didn't even look at what was going to happen there on the back.
He just jumped out.
That's it. Game over. Leafs win 6-5. Shootout. Good win. I don't know if it was maybe the fashion that you wanted to win it in. Obviously letting in 5 goals, but either way, at the end of the day, the goal is to obviously get the win.
They got the 2 points. That's
good comeback. 5-3 under 10 minutes to go. It was a good comeback.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was a great opening night game, I have to say. It was a lot of back and forth. What you want is a lot of goals too anyway, right? So, all right. Well, do we want to leave it at that? What do we think? Obviously, I know you were a little bit behind. I was trying to walk you through it, but just your closing thoughts on overtime and shootouts and the overall game.
I mean, exciting to say the least. I mean, that's what you want, but at the same time, a little too close for comfort for the Maple Leafs. They obviously first game, you got to iron everything out, but you know what? There are some things that you need to work on. That is for sure.
It's evident. I agree. Perfect. Well, Peter, I want to appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for having me on. Actually, this was your idea.
No problem. No, thank you for joining me and also, being hopefully a Leaf fan for one day. But either way, getting to watch this game was just an absolute thrill with you.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure to do more this year. I'm always happy to do more. But thank you guys. Make sure to go check out Sticks in the Six if you haven't already. I'm sure you guys will be releasing an episode soon this week about tonight's game and whatever may happen going forward. But thanks for tonight. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you at the next live stream.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Night, guys.
Say something.